on YouTube. And welcome back. We are officially live once again. This is Wolf, aka Mystic Spider-Man, Skull Babylon, Wolf Shield, Brendan, welcoming you to another live tarot reading with Wolf. Give me 2 seconds here as I just set things up on Facebook and get things rolling. But if you are watching this, if you are on either, again, YouTube or Instagram, go ahead and just drop some 1111s. Let me know that the sound is coming through okay. And again, for those of you tuning in on Instagram, you guys can jump over to my YouTube version of the broadcast and we will get started in the next little bit. So go ahead and just let me know if you're here. If you're here and you're here to have a good time and you're here to shift some paradigms, go ahead and drop an 1111 in the chat. Let me know that you are tuned in. So aloha and welcome everyone. So we're just going to get things started. And again, what we do right off the bat is we invite people to be able to help share this broadcast on Facebook. It takes a couple extra minutes just to be able to get the broadcast out there to more people so that we can invite them to be a part of the inspiration, so that we can invite them to be able to receive the wisdom and the insights of the cosmos. So aloha to Saman. I am in London, Ontario, Canada, if you're still tuned in. Welcome to Sony's bot. Welcome to yo Archer, thank you so much for tuning in. Pedro, thank you so much, and everybody else who is hanging out with us here live on the spot. Sweet, good to see that you guys made the jump over to YouTube. Awesome, thank you so much. Go ahead and smash that like button, and if you're looking for a reading, the instructions are quite simple. All you have to do is share this broadcast with your friends. So go ahead and share it. Allison, even if you're on Facebook, if you're on Facebook and you can share the Facebook link, that would be super appreciated, because I'm actually like banned from sharing in groups for the time being, and any shares on Facebook is super appreciated into specific groups and so forth. So aloha Allison, aloha Pedro, aloha Found in Wonderland, welcome back. Thank you again everyone. As I said, we're just going to go through a bit of the initial routine at the beginning where we welcome people on board, and then we will be getting into the first reading as soon as we can, once we have at least 10 people tuned in on Facebook, and however many people are tuned in on YouTube as well. And again, for those of you who are tuning in on Instagram, go ahead and go to my Instagram stories and swipe up there to be able to join in on the YouTube version. And that's where like you'll see like the full on-screen effect. Like if you're watching on Instagram, you're not getting like the full live tarot reading with the Wolf experience. So give me 2 seconds here. I just got to share this to at least a couple more other pages. And again, if you're interested in reading, here are the instructions. Here are the initial instructions. And if it's your first time here, welcome. Thank you so much if it's your first time here. And again, thank you everybody tuning in. Aloha to All Sayin and Pedro. Yeah, you're watching me on YouTube and Instagram at the same time. Yo, Dan, thank you so much for joining in. So again, I just got to share this to a couple more groups. So here's the instructions. If it's your first time tuning in, what we do is we do a reading straight out of the chat. We choose someone from the chat based on a synchronistic method that I'll give you instructions for in the next couple seconds. But if you would like to be able to get a reading, all you have to do is share this broadcast, so that way it helps invite more people to be able to tune in, and then drop a 333 in the comments, and then stand by for the initial instructions. Thank you, Allison. Huge bonus points to you. And we'll keep an eye on things on the Facebook. So again, aloha and welcome. If you are tuning in on Facebook, go ahead and just leave some comments down below. Again, if you would like to be entered into the first reading that we are doing, which I'll give you the full instructions for in a second, just drop a 333 in the comments. So if you're here and you're just like, sweet, yeah, I'd love to be able to like be a person that we help facilitate the first reading, then drop a 333 in the comments. And the way how we do this is that we do the readings in such a way where it like it's a reading for like the individual but also for the collective. So it's a very cool way that we do it. So again, let's keep an eye on things across multiple channels. So again, if you're tuned into this on Instagram, swipe up on my stories to tune in on YouTube. If you're tuned into this on Facebook and YouTube, share this broadcast with your friends. And once we get at least, so we got about 10 people tuned in on YouTube right now, which is awesome. So thank you everyone again for being here. And if we are able to just invite more people on the Facebook to be able to share this with your friends, please feel free to do that. Like, that's the thing with Facebook. It's very, very important that people share it that way, so it creates a little bit of momentum. Like, what happens with Facebook sometimes, if it just like drops like below like 2 people and then it doesn't pick up again. So what we want to be able to do with Facebook is we want to at least put a little bit of extra love in there to be able to make sure that more people are getting a chance to see it. And again, I can't share to Facebook groups, so it's up to you, team, to be able to share this broadcast. So if you're watching this on Facebook, go ahead and share this. So what we're going to do the first reading for somebody from the chat, and then the second reading will be for the first person who signs up on Patreon tonight. And as we do these broadcasts, we have a couple different objectives. One of the first objectives is to be able to provide awesome value for the community and to be able to bring people together as a team. And then the secondary objective, well, it's not even secondary, it's also a primary objective, is also to be able to help invite people to support on Patreon, which is a monthly micro contribution. And when you support on Patreon, you will be the person, like, you jump the line, and then you will be the next person that we do a reading for on air. And then you will also get more perks, such as the option to be able to get one of these beautiful Light Guardian crystals as a pay what you wish price. So for those of you tuning in on Instagram, do me a favor and jump over to the YouTube. If you're tuning in on Instagram, do me a favor and jump over to the YouTube. That way, so it's going to be more fair for you because you'll be engaged with the chat there. So again, we're going to get right into this first reading, and let's see if we can get a person signed up on Patreon while we are doing this first reading. So and don't worry, if anybody doesn't, if you're not on Facebook, don't worry about sharing it. So I'm going to post a link for the Patreon. And again, for those of you who haven't met me yet, my name is Brendan. I'm a conscious media creator. I've been creating conscious media for over 10 years and helping build community and create other leaders worldwide to be able to help assist and accelerate the shift in consciousness. By doing these broadcasts, this is an awesome way for us to be able to provide more insight, inspiration, and clarity, to be able to help serve the community in some very, very exciting and potent ways, to be able to help build the tribe. And also, you can check out a lot more of my stuff on the Patreon, such as full-length movies I've done over like 1 million different broadcasts, free hugs videos, Mystic Spider-Man videos, videos of like conscious movie reviews, humor videos, woke humor videos. Yo, Pedro, thanks so much, man. I'm glad you found me through Planetary Ascension. If anybody found me through Planetary Ascension, let me know in the chat. And huge shout out. We're going to be doing some more collabs there as well. So again, for anybody here who would like a reading, go ahead and drop a 333 in the comments if you haven't yet. So shout out to Found in Wonderland. Shout out to, again, Allison, MLK, welcome back. Jordan, welcome back. And Diane, welcome back. Or if it's your first time here, welcome. And again, Pedro, welcome as well. So again, for those of you who are tuning in on Facebook, do me a favor and help share this broadcast. So if you would like a reading on air, this is what we do. The first reading we choose right from the chat. The second reading will be for the first person who signs up to Patreon tonight, and you sign up to Patreon with a monthly micro donation of $3 to $5 to be able to help support the ongoing media work that I do, to be able to help assist and accelerate the shift in consciousness. And there, I'm just sorting out my deck. I had some of the cards flipped up there. And again, when you sign up on the Patreon, you can also get one of these beautiful Light Guardian crystals as a pay what you wish. So how much do these cost? The first one you can get for as much as you wish to pay once you sign up for the Patreon. And again, you can sign up for the Patreon for as little as $3, $5. And if you sign up at the $11, you can also get the Lumerian Light Guardian crystals. And these Light Guardian crystals, the Lumerian ones, these ones are worth like between like $60 and $100. So if you want one of these, this is like a super affordable way that we create to be able to help provide those for the community. So I'll talk a little bit more about that later, and let's get right into this first reading. And again, please feel free to keep sharing this broadcast. Hit that like button. Anthony's asking, do you have any meditation videos? Absolutely. Anthony, I have done like probably over 50 different meditation videos, including some really cool story meditations that are kind of like first-person narratives. They're like a first-person audiobook, but it's a meditation. Definitely invite you to be able to check those out. You can find those all on my channel. I got different playlists for them. So let's get right into this. The first reading that we're going to do tonight, we're going to choose someone from the chat, and we have multiple channels here. Again, we are broadcasting on Facebook, we are broadcasting on YouTube, and we are broadcasting on Twitch and Instagram. And if you're tuning in on Instagram, jump over to the YouTube real quick and you can join the party there. So these are the instructions. If you would like to be able to possibly to be entered into the opportunity for us to be able to choose you for the first reading, understanding that the readings that we do, they're like a team reading too. So if it's your first time, stick around and you'll see how the flow works here. And again, here are the instructions. MLK Art Bell 2.0. Oh, that's a compliment. Yo. Okay, so what I was gonna say, here are your instructions. Share this broadcast with your friends wherever you want to share it, and then I am going to give you a number, and the fifth person who enters this number into the chat will be the person who we do this reading for. So don't enter the number right away, and don't enter it in more than once. Simple instructions. And I want you to almost like type it in and then enter, like close your eyes, connect to your breath, and then type enter, and then listen to your intuition when you do this. So the number that I'm going to give you is the number 777. So the fifth person who enters 777 into the chat, keeping in mind that it's across Facebook and YouTube and even on Twitch and Instagram, the fifth person who enters in 777 into the chat, you can only enter it once, will be the first person who we do this reading for. And then the second reading that we do will be for the next person who signs up for the Patreon. And again, our objective tonight is to be able to get at least 2 Patreon people signed up. 2 people signed up for the Patreon with a monthly micro contribution. Awesome. Yo, Abid, good to see you here, man. Thank you so much. Shout out to Abid. He's like one of like the OG paradigm shifters from my college days. And once if we get 3 people signed up for the Patreon tonight, then we will also do a special reading with the Oracle deck. So, awesome. All right, so there we go. So the first reading that we are going to do tonight is actually going to be for Pedro. So Pedro, congratulations. Thank you so much for tuning in, especially considering this is your first time. That's pretty awesome. And we're going to get right into this reading. So again, for those of you who are here for the first time, understand that if you are here, if you are tuned into this, then this message, this reading is for you. This is like a very cool team reading that we do. So again, this first reading, we're going to do it with Pedro helping facilitate it. And then the second reading will be for the first person who signs up for the Patreon tonight. So that will be the list. So if you would like to be able to jump the line, and you can wait, you can kind of like watch this, get a feel for it, especially if it's your first time. But if you're familiar with my content, maybe you've been thinking about signing up for the Patreon, now is a great time to just be able to spend about 3 minutes signing up for the Patreon. That's all it takes. It only takes about 3 minutes. And again, that's a monthly micro donation to not only just like support me, but it's supporting the community. It's supporting the content that we are creating together and the impact that we are making on a global scale. And quick little note, tomorrow night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be having a live team broadcast talking about the global climate crisis. So very important topic, and we're going to be talking about it from the perspective of like how this relates to the shift in consciousness. So Pedro, if you're ready for this, just let me know in the chat. Just be like, I am ready. Let me know. And for everybody here, again, this is a team reading. You're gonna feel this. This is gonna be like a very cool way for you to be a part of like the synchronistic magic that we do here during these broadcasts. And we've been doing this for a while, and the people who tune into this, they're just like, yo, this is pretty cool. This is like something pretty special. So we got something pretty special here. So for everybody here, I invite you to just drop into your heart space. Just take a breath here. Take a nice gentle breath. Activate your light guardian crystals if you got them. And allow yourself to just be in that place of gratitude. So just open your heart and just take a couple breaths here, everybody. Just allow yourself to relax and just visualize we're like all in a circle right now. Nice gentle exhales, deep inhales, deep exhales. And just do a couple more of those. Just allow yourself to relax. And together we'll just create this like very cool, chill vibration. Beautiful. All right. Awesome. Awesome, Pedro. I'm glad you're here, man. Very synchronistic indeed. This is Synchronicity live on air. So, Pedro, what we're going to do, I'm inviting you to be able to align yourself with the intention of show me what I need to see. We're going to pull one card, and then what we're going to do, we're going to read from the book, and we're going to go into some further insight. And this is a very, very simple but very, very, very powerful way of being able to do readings. But again, for everybody here, this is a team reading. So if you're tuned into this, there's something here for you. There's a message here for you. So Pedro, allow yourself to drop into the intention of show me what I need to see. And for everybody here, I want you to just think that. Even just the intention of like, show us what we need to see. Show us what we need to see. So Pedro, just allow yourself to close your eyes, take a few breaths here. Just be in that space, be in that heart space, be in that space of gratitude. Allow yourself to be in that intention. Show me what I need to see. And then what you're going to do, Pedro, you're going to take a couple more breaths. And then when you are ready, you're going to say now. And then that's when I'm going to split the deck. And then we're going to pull the card for you. So allow me to just like charge the deck with a little bit of flowetry and bonus magic vibes here. And once Pedro says now, we'll split the deck. And so we are gathered here once again, my friends, to allow ourselves to truly transcend the illusions of separation as we rise and we shift within, as we allow ourselves to see what has always been. The magic that is within our hearts is the place in which this story starts, because when we look within, we change the world without. As we rise above, we change these roots below, as we allow ourselves to remember what we know. And through the magic of the cards, we bring forth this charge, this electric charge that sparks our heart, that allows us to share this world, to share this story through the magic of our art, through our dance and our song, through our voice, through all the things that we can do through this choice. And so as we take another breath here, and I wait for that moment when Pedro says now, and we allow ourselves to reflect on which way the cards will show us how. Do you guys like my sound effects? Now, there it is. Perfect. All right. So, there we go. Very cool. All right. Wow. Okay. It's interesting, this card that we're getting, and I'll explain why in a second. So again, what we're gonna do here for everybody here, again, we are working towards our team objectives of being able to get 2 Patreon signups during this broadcast. You can see down on the screen down below that we are currently at 119 Patreon supporters. Thank you to our recent Patreon supporters, Rebecca, Percy, Paul, and Skylar. And as we're doing this reading, we're inviting the next person that we'll do a reading for to sign up for the Patreon. And again, that only takes about 3 minutes to sign up. And when you sign up, you can also get one of these super dope Light Guardian crystals. And if you sign up for the 11, you can get the Lumerian one. So let's get right into this reading, and we'll keep an eye open for that Patreon supporter. And again, the Patreon supporter also gets you more discounts, such as items from the shop. It gets you the next reading. But again, the reading's not just for you, it's for the team. So by you supporting on the Patreon, you're like supporting the whole team, and everyone appreciates that. So awesome. Sweet, Pedro. I'm happy to have you here, man. I'm glad this is exciting. And also just like, again, you know, for a lot of people, it's like, dude, this is tribe. This is family. And again, if this is your first time here, make sure you're subscribed to this channel, because we got a lot more awesome stuff to share with you. So charging this card up here with the Light Guardian crystal. Again, if you're tuned into this broadcast, please feel free to just spam this, share it around, invite people to tune in. So for those of you watching on Instagram, go to my YouTube, go to my Instagram story and swipe up my most recent story. Go there, swipe up, join the party on YouTube, because there's like a bunch of people on YouTube and I want you to be there. All right. Charging it up with the beautiful Light Guardian crystal. The first card that we have for this evening on behalf of Pedro, yet for the team, is Swords 6. So allow me 2 seconds here as I open up the book. And again, you know, by everybody tuning in here, I love the opportunity for us to just be able to connect as community. But again, you know, when people tune in, it's not just like, they're just like, oh, like, give me that tarot essence. Yes, give me the tarot essence. It's a Dark Crystal reference for those of you who have been watching that series. I like how good I can do that voice, right? Yes. Okay, anyways, so 6 of Swords is the card that we got here tonight. But again, you know, this is about tribe. This is about coming together. This is about inspiration. This is about getting like ideas and insights and paradigm shifts that are going to continue to inspire and assist us on our journey. So again, if you're here, if you're tuned into this broadcast, then this message is for you. So 6 of Swords, first one that we got here. I'm going to talk about the image literally, and then we're going to go into a little bit more of the write-up. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, when people tune in, I want you to just be able to like also know that you can pretty much tune into this broadcast knowing that it's going to make you smile. Knowing that's going to make you laugh, knowing that I'm going to do something weird that's going to probably embarrass me, but it's going to amuse you. So again, it's bringing in that like carefree without being careless. So, all right, let's talk about this one. This one's pretty cool. It's got crystals in it. Look at that. It's got crystals in it. Okay. So, 6 of Swords. So, we're just talking about the literal image here. So, we got 6 swords pointing kind of like in opposite directions, some out, some in, and these beautiful crystals coming out of the landscape. And there's at least like 3 or 4 big crystals, and they actually look like this Lumerian crystal. And then down below you can see this like beautiful horizon and these beautiful clouds, and the crystals are kind of transparent and the swords are kind of transparent as well. So that's just kind of like the literal explanation of what it is that we are looking at there. And now I'm going to read through the book, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more together. So thank you again, everyone. Please feel free. Again, if you're just watching this, one of the best ways you can support, like this video and share it around, and keep commenting. Keep commenting in the chat. Keep that commenting engaged. And again, we're going to go through this reading, and then the next reading that we do will be for the next person who signs up for the Patreon. So you can see the link there, and I'll just post it one more time into the chat. So again, that only takes about 3 minutes to sign up. And when you sign up, you can also get a beautiful light guardian crystal. And honestly, I can entice you guys with a little bit more. I can, you know what? Like, no, it would be cool if it means something to someone. I have this beautiful Auralite 23 crystal. I'm willing to give this, like, literally just as a bonus gift to whoever signs up on Patreon tonight. I got a couple of these, and these are rare. These are like 1.2 billion year old crystals. So if anybody wants like a little extra incentive, sign up for the Patreon tonight, and that will be like a special bonus gift for you. So again, let's get right into reading this. And thank you so much, everyone, for holding space, and yeah, for being here as a team. All right. Awesome. Thank you again. If you're new here, for anyone new here, just drop a 222 in the chat and I'll give you a special shout out. So let's read this card together. 6 of Swords. All right. You guys ready for this? You ready to get your paradigm shifted? All right. 6 of Swords. So when you listen to this, Pedro, just listen. Listen with an open heart. For everybody here, just listen. Let the universe speak to us. 6 of Swords. The image. Out of the center of a grouping of clear mountain crystals come 6 swords that tower together over a pastoral countryside. Meaning, all realities, whether they are material, emotional, or mental, have their origin in spirit. The prerequisite for successful realization of goals lies in the clear alignment of thoughts. I'm going to reread that. The prerequisite for the successful realization of a goal lies in the clear alignment of thoughts. A healthy ability to differentiate, a strong sense of justice, and the ability for objective observation harmonize the world of the soul and enable people to act selflessly. Whoever finds his inner balance can also be successful in helping heal his environment. Bringing about this condition requires a constant readiness to open up to new horizons. Among these belong the release of limiting beliefs, that form the framework of their own abilities, as well as the acceptance of the unknown. I'm going to reread that. Bringing about this condition requires a constant readiness to open up to new horizons. Among these belong the release of limiting beliefs that form the framework of their own abilities, as well as the acceptance of the unknown. By trusting that life will present the right thing at the right time, that which is uncertain can be greeted in a friendly manner, in order to begin the process of joyful awakening from which man and his environment can benefit the most. Astrological significance. Mercury, Jupiter, sextile aspects. Keywords: broadening one's horizons, creating clarity, goal-oriented mentality, balance, discernment, sense of justice, gentle methods of healing, working with crystals. Traditional meaning: gaining knowledge, acting systemically, entering new territory, finding inner balance, trusting an intelligent lead. Wow, very, very cool. Awesome. All right, so This is a very, very cool card. And what I was originally thinking in terms of like why I thought that this card was cool to begin with is the fact that we've been getting a lot of sword cards lately. Like the previous readings that we've been doing, the sword cards keep popping up. And the sword cards often have to do with our understanding of like how to utilize the power of the mind and what is our relationship with the mind. And so this card, this is like such a powerful card. And again, for you, Pedro, but again, for everybody tuning into this, because this card is, again, by being able to just like expand our understanding of consciousness to such a level where it allows us to harmonize with our own self so that we can become better creators in ways that we probably never even thought possible. And by developing a deeper relationship with this reality that opens up new areas of trust, yet also new elements of excitement. Awesome, sweet. We did just get a new Patreon sign up. I'm going to give a huge shout out to them in a second, and we're going to keep rolling with this. So we got one Patreon sign up tonight. Let's keep working towards the next Patreon sign up. Honestly, if we can get like 5 Patreon signups tonight, that's a bonus because we're working towards the end of the month and that's when donations process. So that's like part of the objective here. So again, focusing on this card, I'm excited to really be able to talk about this card. And for everybody here, please feel free to like leave your comments because I'm going to read your comments on screen. Like you're a part of this discussion. This is a team discussion. So again, keywords in here: broadening one's horizon, creating clarity, goal-oriented mentality, balanced discernment, sense of justice, gentle methods of healing, working with crystals. I love how it says working with crystals, right? Like working with crystals. What? Like who works with crystals? That's so weird. Anyways, weird is another word for magic, by the way. But one of the things that I really like about this card is by being able to understand, like this part right here, by trusting the light, by trusting that life will present the right thing at the right time, that which is uncertain can be greeted in a friendly manner in order to begin the process of joyful awakening from which man and his environment can benefit the most. That idea of being able to meet uncertainty in a friendly manner. Pedro, for you, I want you to really be able to reflect on yourself. And have you had those experiences, those synchronicities where you're just like, whoa, like the right thing showed up at the right time? For everybody here, think back on those moments where you're just like, oh my God, like I can't believe I met that person. Or oh my God, I can't believe I was where I needed to be for that moment to happen. What if I were to tell you that in the same way that moment felt magical and divine and orchestrated and pristine, that same model of reality is actually happening all the time? And what if like the future already exists in almost this kind of like reverse time theory where like the events that are meant to happen will happen, and yet actually, this is the thing, those events are there for us to be able to meet them, yet we will only meet them when we are ready and when we are in a place of like flow and a similar vibration to be able to open ourselves up to those experiences of like divine circumstance, of divine timing, of divine synchronicity. But what I think is very powerful with this card that I really resonate is the idea of being able to get excited about the mystery of the unknown. Like what if you could just know deep in your heart that like you've got the future already planned out from a higher conscious degree, again from that spirit level, like that person who you're going to meet, they're already there. That job that you really want, it already exists. That like connection that you're seeking, it's waiting for you. And yet what we have to do is not so much this idea of like chasing that thing externally, but rather focusing on being able to align our own vibration to be able to match the frequency so that we can show up to it when we are ready. And this is a thing that I think is like very, very interesting within this reality. The way how it works is that, again, we will basically go through this process where there will be certain things that will be in our reality that will only arrive to us when we are ready to receive them. And so most people get into this mindset. I'll use the example of relationships or like jobs or something like that. When we get into like, sometimes people break up and they come out of a relationship and then they're just like, okay, I want to get into another relationship, or I really, really want that. They're longing for it. They're longing for that next relationship type thing. What if I were to tell you that chasing it isn't actually what will bring it to you? You'll find something, but it won't be what you will actually want. It will be what you need because there might be some other lesson there. Maybe it'll be like a one night stand, nothing wrong with that. Or it'll just be something that won't really satisfy your soul. But the thing that will satisfy your soul is there. But in order for you to get it, what you need to do is the inner work. What you need to do is to shift your vibration into that alignment so that it comes to you, or so that you synchronistically just kind of like find yourself meeting that certain person or that circumstance at the right time, at the right place. Like, this is a beautiful thing. I want to be able to tell you, every single person here, that there is a party with your name on it waiting for you. And like maybe it's today, maybe it's tomorrow, but if you're like in a situation where like maybe you just got out of a relationship or something quote unquote bad just happened, or you just had like a breakup or something like that, there is a party that is waiting for you, and it is like maybe just like 2 months down the road or something like that. Like that next relationship that you're looking for, it is there. It is there. 100% it is there. And all you have to do is spend the next 2 months fucking becoming the best version of yourself, and then you show up to that party and you're just like, fuck yeah, I'm here. Like, I am here. Shift, yeah, I am here, and I am ready to receive this. I'm ready to be able to be opening my heart to the mystery of the unknown, knowing that it is there to serve me. Yo, Allison, getting excited about that party coming up. I know what I know what we're talking about. So again, with this card, broadening one's horizon, being able to understand how the universe works and how time is a very non-linear thing, and how retrocausality is actually a very real concept. Again, I think about this idea of like reverse time theory. This is kind of separate from the card, but I'll just share it with you here. You guys let me know if this comments. I'm going to read your comments in a second. Let me know if this resonates. I'm going to read your comments in a second. For those of you listening on Instagram, go to my Instagram story, swipe up, and join the party on YouTube. There's like 20 people on YouTube, so jump over there. I want to be able to have you on the YouTube chat. So what I was going to say, reverse time theory is basically this is a trip. This is such a weird idea, but it's actually really powerful. Because I'm telling you this not just to trip you out, but to give you a deeper sense of understanding, broaden your horizons, to actually tap into some powerful hope. The way in which we are experiencing reality right now, what we acknowledge as being forward, is actually backwards. Meaning that the reality itself, let's say that this circle, this sphere, is everything in reality that could ever happen in any single way. And then basically what happens is that basically explodes itself in a million different directions, in a million different fractals. And now what we are doing is we are actually like reversing the video in a sense, and it's all coming back to what it originally was. Meaning that instead of just thinking that all of these pieces are together and we're like trying to fit together and we're just like smashing into each other, no, this was already whole. It kind of like poof, went like that. And that's like the way in which time really works. And now we're experiencing this process of everything kind of coming back together. And that experience is actually what we experience in everyday life through synchronicities and circumstances. And I'll just give you another quick example of this like non-linear time theory, is basically this idea of like, okay, think about those moments when you think of someone and then they call you a second later, or they text you or something like that. You've had that before, right? Like, what's happening there? That's actually the future kind of like meeting you in the present, and you feel the future through your chakras. By the way, in case people didn't know that, that's my understanding of this. And I'll just tell you that real simply because I want you to know like how your body works. The chakras are literally energy portals that are there to be able to receive information from the future. So when you feel that intuition, when you feel those heart twangs, when you feel that gut feeling, when you have that imagination, that's actually partly, not all of it, but that's actually information coming from the future. So when you have that feeling in your heart where it's like a heart twang and you're just like, oh my God, I feel called to go that way, that's actually like data from the future. And when we get good at listening to that, it helps us navigate. So again, with this card for Pedro, for this card, I really see this as being a very powerful card to practice like focusing on our vibration so that we can align with the things that are meant for us sooner rather than later. And this is kind of the way how free will works. The universe will have a gift ready for you, and it's there, and it will arrive in your lap when you're ready to receive it. So for example, it could be like right there ready for you, and it could be there for you in a week if you kind of like do the inner work. But if you don't do the inner work because you have free will, meaning and even when you're not doing the inner work, you're still learning lessons. So it's all still very, very valuable, right? So again, no shame in any of those moments where you feel like you haven't been doing the inner work, because that's still like very important. But basically all I'm saying is that you can bring things into alignment with your reality sooner rather than later. And that in itself should actually be a part of our objective, because we're here to do a lot of things on this life, in this reality. We're here to accelerate as students. We're here to like graduate as fast as we can. Not as fast as we can, but you know, we don't want to stay in grade 2 forever, right? Like we want to be able to move through the next grades, but in order to be able to move through those grades, we have to make sure that we're doing the homework and we're showing up for the tests in a lot of ways. So again, broadening one's horizons, clarity, goal-oriented mentality. So for Pedro, for everybody here, I want you to practice getting targets in your mind for what your goals are, but I want you to also get clear on your goals by tapping in with your heart, and by listening to your heart, and by listening to what's already there in the future. So listen to your heart and just be like, okay, like what's already there? What do I want to create? What excites me? And then when you tap into that, that becomes like this path that opens up to the future. And then all you have to do is kind of like follow the breadcrumbs. Or you imagine you get like a golden lasso, you put it around an objective in the future, and you kind of like reel yourself in, kind of in a sense, opposed to just like going off in some random direction and thinking that it's random at least. So again, balance, discernment, gentle methods of healing, working with crystals, gaining knowledge, acting systemically, entering new territory, finding new balance. So again, as we enter in new territory, and we'll get close to wrapping up this card in a second, I'm going to read your comments for everybody here, and you guys are doing awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Your comments are awesome. This card is a very, very powerful card that reminds us that as we are entering into new phases of the unknown, we have the opportunity to use that as an opportunity to practice developing our trust, and to practice developing our ability to manifest things, and not even just manifest things, but to be able to practice aligning with the things that are already manifest. And we just have to be open to being able to receive them by working on our inner vibration, and by getting clear on our targets. And again, by being open to knowing that the universe, this is a powerful thing, because I had to learn this too, right? The universe will give us what we need, not just what we want, right? We've experienced this. So there might be circumstances where we're just like, I really want this. I really want this. I really want this. And the universe is like, I hear what you're saying, but here's what you're going to get. And it's actually going to serve you. So you need to be able to move forward with a target, but without holding on an attachment to a specific expectation. You still want to be able to hold things in a loving way. You want to be able to hold your objectives like a flower. And you don't want to hold it too tightly, or else you'll crush that flower, right? So you just kind of want to hold it in your palm and honor it. You lift it, you rise it. But at the same time, it's also understanding that like the universe could have something quite different from what you originally had planned. And you need to be able to meet that with as much joy as you did for your original objectives. And that can get a little bit interesting and maybe a little bit challenging, because the universe may throw us some curveballs, or maybe some old lessons might kind of pop up that we didn't really expect. But even when the challenges show up, we can still meet those challenges in a way where we're just like, yes, this is a catalyst. This is valuable. This is an important part of my growth as well. So I'm going to read some of the comments here, and you guys let me know, again, how does this card resonate with you in terms of being able to broaden our horizons, understand, and there's other stuff here that I didn't even fully get into. Again, all realities, whether they are material, emotional, or mental, have their origin in spirit. So again, this is also about being able to understand that, yeah, like we are very multidimensional beings. We are nonlinear beings. We are conduits for creative energy, for source energy. And yeah, by simply understanding that, we can understand that our objectives, our mind, our intentions, our goals, they all exist outside this present moment, and they exist like in like they have a present moment equally as real as this one, and we kind of like move through it and align with that over time. Healthy abilities to differentiate, a strong sense of justice, and the ability for objective observation harmonize the world of the soul and enable people to act selflessly. So what happens when people start navigating this space in a very like higher conscious, soul oriented, non-linear, empowered way? That's what I see this card is like, us really becoming the crystals, working with crystals, knowing that we are the crystals. So yeah, again, like this is a very exciting card, and I'm going to read some of the comments here. So okay, I have to go back up here. All right, Pedro, Pedro says, this card literally represents me as I am a truth seeker, also a healer. And yes, I met this guy at work. We became friends. And he is like the only person I know that's into crystals and meditating. Hey, Pedro, that's pretty cool. All right, I'm just going to scroll through here. I'm not going to read every single one. Pedro's other comment. And I was just like, how is it that I randomly met someone that's into the same thing as me? Awesome. Again, you know, like attracts like, right? So when you set that intention, this is a powerful thing. And this is the thing. Like, for those of you who don't know me, like, I like do things like free hugs, but I encourage people to do that too. That's why there's like the free hug sign behind me and stuff. And I use like the shift buttons. The shift buttons are tools. They have like the Paradigm Shift Central website. I use these to evoke synchronicity. It's like playing life as a real life video game where I wear these and I give them to people. So when I meet people, if I see someone and I get a vibe from them, I'm like, hey dude, like here, have a button, and I'll give them the button and we start a conversation and it creates a friendship and it builds community. You can do this too. But when I do, I just want to say this real quick. When I'm out there doing free hugs, I'm doing it with the knowing that I am already connected to the people who I have yet to meet. And I say that in the same way you are as well. And when you are aware of that, you can become aware of how powerful you are in your ability to be able to meet those people sooner rather than later. And you will meet them when you are ready. And how do you get ready? Again, just by kind of like surrounding yourself with other like-minded people, by doing the work, by getting clear, by reflecting on lessons, by meditating, by moving forward, by expressing yourself, by dancing, by creating. So Next Lifetime says, oh my god, I have a party this Friday. I've been going to the gym so much. I better look good. Okay, thanks. Pedro says, since I've met him, I've been trying to get some crystals, but also raise my vibration by letting go of negative habits. Jordan says 17 people in chat, and 17 is one of the numbers I see daily, and I was also born on 17. Very cool, Jordan. We got some synchronicities in the chat there. I'm just going to go forward a little bit more. Morphic Crystal, thanks for your comments as well. Allison says, Pedro, the universe has a divine plan for us all, and it's a matter of not fighting what our feelings are telling us and trusting and being excited about what is to come. Allison, very wise. Thank you for, again, expanding on what we're talking about here. Just gonna go through here. It's great to see so many people tuned in. Morphic says, also with Wolf doing our reading, I am picking up on and decluttering, cutting cords. If we truly want to manifest, we want in the physical, we got to remove dead cords to make room for the new. Yeah, that's always a relevant topic. We were talking about that earlier in our first broadcast this morning. Definitely the idea that, you know, like sometimes you gotta destroy things in order to be able to make room for the new things. Like the fate of destruction is a joy of rebirth. If your garden is overfilled with weeds, you got to get in there and you got to rip stuff out, and then you make room for like new growth, right? So I mean, that's a whole card in itself. But absolutely, Morphic, I agree. And just saying that so that more people can just be like, yes, like what is the full picture I need to do in order to be able to show up as best as I can for that party, right? Like there's other like checklists in terms of what we have to do. So Jordan says, I just got into crystals recently. I've had smoky quartz, green mica, amethyst, and pink halite. Awesome. Sweet. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. So, Pedro, let me know how this resonates with you. Again, Pedro, because again, I think this is a very powerful card. Pedro, speaking to you to just remind you. And again, when we do these readings, they're not so much like, hey, this is a fortune telling, but it's a way for the universe to be able to communicate to us through the language of symbols. And it's a way for us to be able to get valuable reminders and further insight, clarity, and inspiration. And again, with this card, I think this is a very powerful card, Pedro, as you're kind of going through your own process of awakening, to acknowledge those moments when you do just happenly meet someone randomly, and to know that moments like that can happen again, can happen again, can happen again, can happen again, can happen again. And that is actually why you are here, to be a generator of those experiences, to be a portal for synchronicity. So that's where, again, I encourage people to wear the things like shift buttons, because they actually help accelerate things. Say, for example, that you're on a bus and there's someone else on the bus, but neither of you are wearing a shift button. You probably wouldn't even know that either of you are kind of like on that level. When we wear the shift buttons, we wear an extension of our spirit on our sleeve, and they're there to serve as a symbol so that other people can see us and they can recognize us. So by you wearing shift buttons, which again, there's other designs, like I'll show you those in a bit. When you wear the shift buttons, it is a way to literally guarantee evoking synchronicity. And that is why I wear them. And actually, you know what? Just for everybody here, I just want to be able to like give someone a special gift. Would you guys like me to do like a special I want to be able to like give away a shifter booster kit during this broadcast, just as a gift. Like literally, like I can pay for the shipping. Like it's okay. We'll just do it. and I want to be able to do that. Let me know if you guys are interested in doing that. We can do like a special shifter booster kit giveaway, because I want to be able to like give someone a shifter booster kit so that they can experience this, you know. And honestly, I want everybody here to be able to experience this. And I'll just show you, these are some of the other shift buttons. So you can see, like, we got like ones with Syriantras. We got ones with like spirit trees by like our friend Lewis Dyer, who makes some dope art. We got ones that literally say free hugs on them, and you can combine these with the free hug sign. We got ones that say, ask me about Sasquatch. It's a very specific one. We got ones here, that's a cool one. So we got ones that are like totally just like lit chakras and everything. And here, ask me about esoteric knowledge. So it's like quite literal, right? So if you saw someone with that button, wouldn't you want to ask them about esoteric knowledge? Wouldn't you see that and just be like, oh my god, like that person's woke AF, I want to go talk to them, I want to get to know them, I want to build a community, I want to be friends. So again, for those of you who are maybe here for the first time, a big thing that I'm passionate about is by being able to create templates, models, and archetypes for people to be able to emulate, to be able to help them create conscious community where they are, to evoke synchronicity where they are. And so again, that's what I've been doing. I've been helping build a global team of shifters. So if you're tuned into this broadcast, you are a shifter as much as you choose to be. And what does it mean to be a shifter? Someone who is intentionally helping assist with the shift in consciousness through acts of creativity and compassion. So if that sounds like you, then you are a shifter. And we also use the term light guardian as well. Light guardian is kind of the name of the archetype beyond this present moment, beyond time. And shifter is like the modern day name for it. Also known as like wizards, Jedi, social alchemists. Again, shifter, to shift the paradigms. So, all right, I just want to read the comments here. Pedro says, all I'm going to say is thank you. I feel like I was led to you to find you on Planetary Ascensions Live. And also, I think this video is more guidance towards my spiritual journey. I can also feel lots of people here. Awesome, Pedro. Happy to have you here. And thank you, everybody, as well, for holding space. For those of you tuning in on Instagram, go to my YouTube, go to my Instagram story and swipe up to join the YouTube. There's like 20 people on the YouTube right now, and we want you to join the party. So there's only a couple people on Instagram. Join the party on YouTube. All right. People are like, yo, I want that button. So I'll tell you what, I'll give you guys a special deal. Let's get, for whoever signs up to the Patreon next, if we get one more, once we get one more person signed up for the Patreon, then we'll do a special shifter booster kit giveaway. Does that sound cool? I think that sounds like a pretty awesome deal. So again, I'm going to post a link for the Patreon, and we're going to do the next reading. I haven't given the shout out yet for the newest person who signed up for the Patreon, so I'm going to do that in a second. And let me just check real quick on YouTube, on Facebook. So but how many people do we got on Facebook? So we got 3 people on Facebook. So thank you for those of you tuning on Facebook. If you're tuning on Facebook, please feel free to just jump over to the YouTube, because that's actually like, it's much more lit right now. There's a lot more people tuned in on YouTube. So you can tune in on YouTube. And how many people do we have on YouTube right now? I think we have at least, yeah, we have like over 10 people, about 13 people, which is still cool. Like, that's still cool, right? In today's day and age where everything's being shadow banned, hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. So, all right. Okay, so I'm gonna do again, and Pedro, thank you so much for that reading. I super appreciate it. And thank you again, everybody who recently connected to me through Planetary Ascension as well. And Hunter, welcome to the chat. All right, so with that said, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And thank you to our newest Patreon supporter, Christina. Thank you so much, Christina. Christina, if you are in the chat, go ahead and let me know where you are in the chat. If you are in the YouTube, and I'm just going to update the on-screen info here as well. So thank you so much, Christina. So everybody here, give a special thank you to Christina, because again, her signing up on the Patreon is also going to help us do the next reading, which is going to be for the team. So we are currently at 120 towards our objective of 150, which is our milestone for the Patreon. And again, when you sign up on the Patreon, you are also supporting the entire community. You're supporting the value that we are creating here as a team. So that's super awesome. All right. So, Christina, can you let me know? Is Morphic Crystal Christina? Is that? Can you just confirm? Can you just be like, yes, that's me? Because I don't know. I know like a lot of people's aliases, but I don't know their first names. Still learning that. So, okay, but we're going to get into that next reading in a second. And again, once we get another person signed up on the Patreon, then I'm going to do like a special shifter booster kit giveaway. Like, I'm okay with doing that. Like, I want to be able to do that for you guys. So, yes, awesome. Thank you, Morphic Crystal. Thank you so much for signing up. Super appreciated. And so again, Morphic Crystal, yeah, if you wanted to claim the Auralite, what we can do is we can include that like when you also get a Light Guardian Crystal. And again, you can get the Light Guardian Crystal for as much as you wish to pay. You can literally pay like $1. Whatever honestly works for you is cool, and that definitely just helps with shipping as well. And then yeah, if you would like to claim that Auralite, I did offer it, so it's there for you. And again, that Auralite in itself is like worth like at least like $30 in itself, and that's like a super rare like that. Yeah, that crystal is often very much sought after as well. All right, thank you again, everybody. For those of you tuning in on Twitch, aloha to Mr. Gochimer and Lego Dis. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please feel free to join on Instagram, or sorry, on YouTube as well. So, if you would like. All right, sweet. All right, okay, so let's get into our next reading, and then again, let's work towards our objective of getting at least 2 new Patreon signups during tonight's broadcast. Again, once we get 3 Patreon signups, then we will also do a special reading from the Lightworker Oracle deck. For those of you tuning in on Instagram, jump over to YouTube. That's where the party is. There's like over 15 people tuned in on YouTube. Go to my Instagram story and swipe up to join on YouTube, or you can go right to my YouTube in the, you can see the link on screen there at Skull Babylon. So we're going to get right into this reading. Allow me to just take a couple breaths here, a little bit of an intermission. So real quick, as we're just in a little bit of an intermission, for everybody here, let me know, where are you tuned in from? Go ahead and just leave your locations. And Pedro, thank you again so much. So again, for everybody here, if you're tuned into this and you're just like, yo, I really like the value that we're creating here as a community, then absolutely be sure to check out the Patreon. And again, through there you can find the full-length movies that we have online, as well as the ongoing broadcast. If you want to join as a leading member, that's at the $11 month level. That gives you access to our private membership space, and that will also give you the ability to publish content through the main website to help you reach a wider audience, and the option for you to be able to join on air for our ongoing Synergy Circle broadcast as well. So all right. Yeah, and totally, you guys are totally welcome to leave your Instagram names on the chat. Absolutely, that's totally cool. So thank you, Miss Wonky, for the subscribe on Twitch. Super appreciated. And yeah, so if anybody wants to just leave like their name on Instagram, do like the @sign at Instagram. If you type in the URL, I think it won't show it right away. Well, I can manually show it, but that's okay. But go ahead and leave your, we'll just take a quick intermission here before we do Christina's next reading. And again, super appreciate everybody tuning in here as well. So all right, let's get moving into this next reading very shortly. And thank you again, everyone, as well, for joining in. We got people tuning in from Florida, from Vegas. We got people tuning in. Wait, is Pedro in Florida? I'm not entirely sure. So, all right, give me 2 seconds here. All right, so thank you again, everyone, so much for joining in. We're gonna get right into this next reading for Christina, who is our newest Patreon supporter. Thank you so much, Christina. And again, we'll keep an eye open for the next Patreon supporter. And when we do that, when we get the next Patreon supporter, then we're going to do a special shifter booster kit giveaway. And that will be for like anybody who's tuned in right now. We got people tuning in from Brazil. Alexandra, thank you so much for tuning in from Brazil. Super appreciated. So let's see. Let's check this out. Have you guys seen this super chunky Light Guardian crystal? Look at this one. Look how huge that is. So, man, that one's awesome. So, all right, let's get right into this next reading. And thank you again, everyone, for hanging out. So if you would like to be able to be the next person to get a reading, and again, be able to help do the reading for the team and the community, then go ahead and sign up for the Patreon. I'm just going to post a link for that in the chat. It only takes about 3 minutes to sign up. And when you sign up, you can also get the Light Guardian Crystal for Pay What You Wish. and the other options such as the ability to join as a leading member and also 25% discount for items at questitemshop.com. So yeah, this is one of the chunkier Light Guardian crystals. So like this one is like more available. Like I would want to be able to like decide on like a special deal with someone, but we do have like a lot of the other sizes as well. So again, it kind of works in that way where like the higher you're contributing, the more options that you have in terms of like choosing. So here's a super cute, like awesome blue one. So totally like Morphic, this could be yours. This could be yours here. This beautiful blue one. And again, these Light Guardian crystals, I use these for like dancing and stuff too. So all right, let's get into the next reading. I appreciate you guys hanging out here, holding space, and we'll keep an eye open for that next Patreon sign up as we move into the next reading, thanks to our recent Patreon supporter Christina. And for those of you tuning in on Facebook, please feel free to either keep tuning in on Facebook or jump over to YouTube if you would like. But if you are tuned in on Facebook, please feel free to share this broadcast. And again, if you would like to be the next person who we do a reading for, that would be available for the next person who signs up for the Patreon, which is a monthly micro donation to support the ongoing work that I do for the community and also support the community as a whole. So let's do a quick roll call for everybody here. If you're here and you're still tuned in, drop some 1111s in the chat and let's get into this next reading. And thank you again, everyone. So, Christina, let's drop ourselves into that heart space. For everybody here, feeling those vibes, feeling that community, feeling that gratitude. Just take a breath here. Allow ourselves to relax, allow ourselves to be open, allow ourselves to honor where we are right now in this moment in gratitude. Awesome. All right, and Christina, I invite you to bring in the intention of show me what I need to see. You guys ready for this? You ready for another card? You ready for another reading? Hey, Scarlett, thanks for joining in. Just saw your comment there. All right. And everybody else joining in, hey Jessica, if you're still tuned in, thank you so much for joining in. All right, so again, what we're gonna do, we're gonna pull this card here. Oh, let me just restart the Instagram real quick. For those of you on Instagram, go to my Instagram story and swipe up to tune in. I just gotta restart the broadcast. So for everybody here, I invite you to bring yourself into the intention of show me what I need to see, and take a few breaths there. And give me 2 seconds here as I just have to restart the broadcast on Instagram. And again, for those of you who are new, when we do this, we're doing this reading with Christina helping facilitate because she's our recent Patreon supporter. But again, if you're tuned into this broadcast, then this reading is for you. This is like a team reading. It's a very, very cool way that we do it here. It's some very powerful synchronicity. And again, I appreciate everybody contributing their energies to be able to help assist this. So I can see all the 1111s. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. We're going to get right into this reading, and we'll keep an eye open for the next Patreon supporter. Again, it only takes 3 minutes to sign up. Christina, allow yourself to drop into that intention of show me what I need to see. And take a few breaths here. Everybody just feel that intention. Show us what we need to see. And Christina, when you are ready, take a few more breaths and eventually type now into the chat. And let me just charge up the deck a little bit more. And so, as we are here once again as community, allow ourselves to truly see the love that has always been between you and me, my friends, my sisters and brothers, my allies, each and every one of us showing up as lovers of the earth, of lovers of spirit, of lovers of soul, of lovers of all the things that help us achieve this goal, of the highs and the lows, of the excitement within this dream, to remember that it's all just a ride, as Bill Hicks would remind us to see. And so we ride this ride together as we rise and rise together. And we allow ourselves to continue to transform all that we touch as gold. And we allow ourselves to bring forth the wisdom that has been oh so old. For this is the new age. For this is the new way. And now, says Christina, as we split the deck and we see what the tarot has to say. I like bringing the extra dramatics into this. So give me 2 seconds here. All right, Thank you again, everyone, for being here, tuning in, adding in your energies from all across the world. And the card that we pulled, this is a good one. This is such a cool card. Okay. So excited. It's like, man, I kind of came up with a new phrase the other day, the idea of being like a spiritual nerd. I feel that just kind of like, that's, I don't know, I'm sure other people relate to that, like a spiritual nerd. I don't know, I just like geek out over like tarot, I guess. Is that a thing, right? Anyways, charging up the card here with the Light Guardian Crystal. Again, thank you to Christina, our newest Patreon supporter, for helping us facilitate this reading, and for everybody here as well. The card that we have pulled tonight for the team is the Turning Point card. You like those sound effects? So give me 2 seconds here. I'm just going to open up the book and we'll go a little bit deeper about what this card could mean. The Turning Point. Gee, I wonder what that could possibly mean. If you just had to guess, what could the Turning Point possibly mean? But again, it goes deeper. So we're going to get right into this. All right. Thank you again, everyone. Please feel free to keep sharing this broadcast with your friends if you're enjoying this, if you're having fun. Be sure to like it, subscribe if you haven't yet. And again, we'll keep an eye open for the next Patreon supporter as we go through this broadcast. And once we get another Patreon supporter, I'm going to be giving away a shifter booster kit. So again, let's get that next Patreon supporter. And if we can get that third one, then we'll do the reading from the Oracle deck. And again, thank you so much for our Patreon supporters as well. Oh, and let me just adjust the on-screen text here. I didn't... Hold on, I just gotta move this over here real quick. All right, there we go. Is that better? There we go. Cool. Minor adjustments. Sweet. All right, so thank you again, Christina, Rebecca, Percy, and Paul, our recent Patreon supporters. And let's get right into this reading. This is an exciting. This is a very empowering card. All right, so the Turning Point card. Let's see what we got. And again, if you were tuned into this message is for you. This message is for the team. This message is for anybody listening, for humanity, for all the humans, the hues of mana. The Turning Point card. What do we got here visually on this card? So this card has a lot of detail to it just on the actual image. And in this card here, and for those of you tuning in on Instagram, go to my Instagram story and swipe up. Otherwise, you won't be able to see things properly. So for anybody tuning in on Instagram, go to my Instagram story and swipe up and join the party on YouTube. There's like 20 people tuned in. All right. So the image that we have here down below, you can see there's a bunch of hands. There's a bunch of hands kind of like reaching up towards the heavens. And there's different variety of hands. Some of them are actually like kind of like in a mudra position. One of them's like holding a paintbrush. Some of them like I don't want to just say looking like they're in despair, but just many different formations of the hands. And then up in the sky, there's this beautiful mandala in the sky. And there's actually like little tiny puzzle pieces. Again, it's kind of hard to see. There's just so much detail in this one. And there's actually like the little Om symbol. If you can see it, it's so small. I don't know if you can see it properly. Can you see? Yeah, right there. Can you see that? There's like a little tiny Om symbol. And again, you got these little like puzzle pieces and this beautiful mandala shining from like the rays up above, and these beautiful clouds and these like dark reds and blues. It's a very, very, very powerful image. So, all right, let's get into the reading here. So again, if you are here, then just open your heart. Understand that this message is for you. So we're going to read through this together, and we'll keep an eye open for the next person to sign up for the Patreon. So thank you again, everyone. If you're enjoying this broadcast, your support in any form is equally appreciated, and help us reach our goal of 3 Patreon signups during tonight's broadcast. We already got 1, and the next Patreon signup will give us a giveaway for the Shifter Booster Kit. All right, the Turning Point. Open your mind, open your hearts. Listen, this message is for you. The Turning Point. The image. From the depths of the unconscious, the nature of human beings strive towards a higher spiritual reality. Meaning, the traditional name for this card is Judgment. It symbolizes the dissolution from past servitude and the breaking through into new realms of existence with the goal of overcoming restrictive earthly attachments. I'm going to reread that. The first sentence in here just kind of sums it up real solid. It symbolizes the dissolution from past servitude and the breaking through into new realms of existence with the goal of overcoming restrictive earthly attachments. In letting go of limiting modes of consciousness which determined life in the past, man gains the ability to act and think and act in greater the ability to think and act in greater dimensions. Established patterns that originated in childhood are tested for their suitability. When stubborn patterns are recognized as subconscious programming, then they can be released. These are all deeply rooted judgments that burden the soul and hinder the free flow of energy. I'm going to reread that part there. When stubborn patterns are recognized as subconscious programming, then they can be released. These are all deeply rooted judgments that burden the soul and hinder the free flow of energy. Reconciling with our mistakes and inadequacies, reconciling with our mistakes and inadequacies, and forgiving others and ourselves in order to say goodbye to negative root beliefs means that we can discover and welcome the light of our true nature. Okay, I'm going to reread that. This, like, seriously, we could probably just talk about this card for like an hour. We won't, but we probably could. Hey, Zaya, thanks for tuning in. Good to see you again. All right. Reconciling with our mistakes and inadequacies and forgiving others and ourselves in order to say goodbye to negative root beliefs means that we discover and welcome the light of our true nature. Only when we are finally free of the patterns of impressions of past judgments are we able to spread out our spirit beyond the boundaries of our ego and experience far-reaching dimensions of reality. Freedom from the shadows of the past and using the freed inner potential lead to a spiritual renewal. The refined realization that we have won make it possible for us to stand up against the new and unknown without prejudice. I'm going to reread that. The refined realizations that we have won make it possible for us to stand up against the new and unknown without prejudice. We do this to experience a birth of the soul and a resurrection of our true inner being. With fixed judgments, our mass and crusty shells of unnecessary self-protection mechanisms finally fall away. That, as a result of previous life transformation, have been integrated into our very being and have thereby become characteristics. Aside from the sobering process of awakening, the image of a historical turning point brings a promising message. It represents the transformation process of the inner being, from the darkness of unconsciousness to the light of consciousness, symbolized by the alchemical process of turning iron into gold. With this, man stands at the decisive step of going on to a higher level of development. Astrological significance: Uranus, Pluto at IC, Aquarius. I think IC means intersecting something. Keywords: rising of subconscious powers, overcoming the past, releasing old life habits, connection with higher powers, openness, judgment, reestablishing unity, breakthrough to new worlds, awakening unused potential, transformation, spiritual broadening. Traditional meaning: resurrection, interferes, breakthrough, overcoming earthly attachments, success through clear decisions, the youngest jury, freedom, release, deeply rooted judgments. Beautiful, beautiful, awesome. So like I said, this is a very, very powerful card to be able to talk about, to be able to reflect on, and it's definitely something that I think everybody here, again, Christina, for you to be able to pull this card, and for everybody here, I definitely see this as a very important card for being able to embrace the turning points that are ahead of us, to be in control of our own turning points, to know that our turning points can literally come overnight. Oftentimes, it's a long conversation. It's an ongoing process of reflection, of responsibility, of forgiveness, of healing, of tending to our inner child, of shifting our paradigms, but it's something that we can literally bring into our story with a choice, with our ability to be able to say that that was the past and now the future is something new. The future is something that I am moving forward into with more intention, thanks to the past. And so for this card, again, like this card, it very much is all about paradigm shifts. And what are paradigms? Paradigms are the way in which we see something, the way in which we have thought of something up to a certain point. And so again, I think for this card, I think this is a very powerful card for us to be able to acknowledge the parts of ourselves that have been on like the receiving ends of other people's prejudice, other people's judgment, and other people's conditions that have in some ways stifled us, that have in some ways tried to keep us small, that have in some ways tried to put us in a story that wasn't of our choice. And over time, what we can do is we can look back at this from a higher realization, from a higher degree of consciousness. And not only can we forgive ourselves, or not only can you may not even need to forgive yourself, but what you may just need to do is to be able to acknowledge and love that part of yourself that has gone through the process of experiencing someone else's paradigm in order for you to move into a higher place of your own sovereignty, into a place of you being able to move forward with your own autonomy, with your own willpower. So again, established patterns that originated in childhood are tested for their suitability. And so even though this refers to childhood, which I think is obviously something that I'm sure a lot of us can listen to, is the idea that this isn't just about childhood. This is just about something that is a stage within our life that can be changing all the time. For example, think about that time when you were in college and maybe you were like hanging out with friends and you were acting a certain way because everybody else was acting that way. And then eventually there was just a part in your journey where you were just like, this isn't nurturing my soul. This isn't something that I fully feel is like my path. And then instead of ever just, it wouldn't make sense for you to just kind of like see yourself and just be like, oh, like you're stupid. Like why would you do that? Or things like that. What we need to be able to do is we need to be able to look at ourselves and to be able to understand from that higher perspective that when it comes to reality, when it comes to life, this is a very, very simple but very, very powerful idea. There's no winning or losing. There's only learning. But in saying that, the reality is that it actually is all winning. And that card literally says here, to be able to, the refined realization that we have won, make it possible for us to be able to stand up against the new and unknown without prejudice. And so for this card, again, for you, Christina, for this card, I see this as a very, very powerful card for being able to look back on your past and to just meet it with so much love and with gratitude in a way that allows you to transform it, in a way that allows you to honor your past as a catalyst for allowing you to be able to bring yourself to where you are now, for you to be able to learn more discernment, for you to be able to like get more clear on what is right for you. And like, that's the thing, right? Like sometimes we are in situations where sometimes there's someone else in our reality and maybe they're like they might kind of like project a lot of their emotions on us, and they might kind of like try and put us inside of a certain box. They might expect us to be a certain way. And again, oftentimes, this is why it relates to childhood. This often comes through like parents and through institutions. It can also happen with relationships and things like that. But what we learn through this, simply by listening to our heart, is if we're just like, okay, you know what? Like, I tried doing it their way and it didn't work. It didn't resonate with my soul. And for you to be able to acknowledge that as valuable data and being able to get more clarity on what it is that is right for you, what it is that is right for you to make within your own choice, for your soul, for your turning point, for you to be able to move from that story of the past that maybe somebody else had laid out for you or someone else had put you in unconsciously, and for you to be able to move into that next point and to move into that higher place of excitement, of responsibility, again, as sovereignty, and for you to be able to look back at the past and transmute it, to alchemize it from that idea of lead to gold. And this is such a powerful thing. This is such a powerful thing, is the idea that, again, you know, like we have that ability. We have that ability to break through the stories of our past. And sometimes this happens with the past where, like, when we're in it, it can be hard. It can be challenging. And that's important because we want to feel it. We don't want to just like ignore it and pretend that none of it happened. But oftentimes what happens with those circumstances is that they serve as catalysts. They serve as a way of being able to put us towards where we're meant to be. They turn us into a new direction as well. And so again, when we can look back on our past and look back on our own actions, and to almost see our past self almost as if it would be a friend. And you might want to be able to like think about how would you, if you saw a friend and you were trying to support them, what would you say to them? You would kind of remind them, be like, it's okay. Like, it's okay. Like, don't beat yourself up so much. You did what you did because that was like your consciousness at the time. And there was lessons along that you got to learn. And now you bring those lessons forward with you. And now you get to grow. And now you get to transform. And now you've become more of who you are. And if it wasn't for those subconscious programmings, if it wasn't for those paradigms that somebody else had put you in, if it wasn't for your courage and being able to say no to what you don't want and yes to what you do want, then you wouldn't be who you are here. And to know that you're still in the process of doing that. So even right now, if you're still in that point where you're just like, like, what do I want to be able to develop more discernment towards? What do I really want for myself? What things are holding me back? What do I need to do in order to be able to, in some ways, reconcile with my past? And can you really also embrace this idea that from like, this is again, like I say this with a grain of salt, take this how you feel it. But again, your past was all of it was intentional and was something that your soul agreed to in order for you to grow into the person who you are now, because your story is not your own. So any of the hardships that you have gone through, any of like those deep experiences of deep emotion have given you the gift of empathy, have given you the gift of insight, have given you the gift of being able to heal those stories and also being able to make sure and help to make sure that they don't happen again. You know, and there was a person who was on the broadcast yesterday. I'll just give a general example. And they were just basically sharing about how they grew up as a foster child. And now, because they had that experience, they are focusing on like giving the best experience possible for their children. They knew what it was like to grow up without family, and now they are so passionate about being able to help create like meaningful experience for their children and everything like that. So again, when we go through these experiences of kind of like feeling what it's like to go through one side of the story, we are also there as a soul to be able to focus on healing that part through our own experience on behalf of the collective, which is a very, very powerful thing. So again, key words in this: overcoming the past. Don't let the past drag you back. And what determines whether or not the past dragged you back? It's based on your relationship with it. It's based on your story of it. And if there are parts of your past where you feel like it is holding you back, what would it feel like for you to just be able to be like, I honor it. I honor it. And to the best of my ability, I am still grateful for it. Maybe it wasn't exactly what I wanted, but it was still exactly what I needed as a soul for me to be able to rise, knowing that my journey is not just mine, but I chose to go through those hard times to be able to help carry that on behalf of the collective because I am brave. And that's one thing that I want you to be able to get out of this, Christina, and for everybody else here, is to acknowledge how fucking brave you are as a soul. If you are here on earth right now, you are brave. If you are tuned into this broadcast and you're going through your own personal shift in consciousness and you're doing the inner work, if you're transforming lead into gold, if you've gone through childhoods with like traumas and experiences that, you know, have gone through like that have propelled like you into new ways of seeing the world and everything like that, you are brave. You are brave, and there's nothing that the universe would have given you that you are not capable of carrying, capable of handling, capable of transmuting. So again, we will oftentimes, the souls that are here to do the most transformation will oftentimes have to go through the darkest nights. But that's because we are capable of it. That's because we are here to share the wisdom, to remind each other and to support each other that we can do this, that we can do this together. And so again, overcoming the past, releasing old life habits. Pay attention right now. What are some life habits that you could change? You know, it's like, oh, okay, falling asleep, watching Netflix every single night. Do I need to do that? Not to say you don't do it every now and then, but do you need to do that all the time? Maybe, maybe not. You know, it's like, oh, okay, going out drinking every night or something like that. Maybe you don't need to do that. Again, this is just general examples and things like that. Develop more healthy patterns. Develop more healthy patterns as an act of self-love. Everything that you're doing, forgiving, like looking back, seeing the past with gratitude, forgiving yourself, forgiving others where it's applicable, for being able to just be grateful for what you have gone through in order for you to be where you are now, but making sure that you're extracting the lessons from the past to bring forward with what you want into the future, and kind of leave the rest that you don't need in the past. You don't always have to recollect on the past. You don't always have to put yourself in like bringing yourself back to those moments of like reminding what it was like getting bullied on the schoolyard and stuff like that. You don't have to remember all of the details of that, but using that example, bring forth the idea that being bullied on the schoolyard was also something that like helped you learn more about resilience and helped you develop empathy and help you grow into the person that if you were to see that happening to someone else, you'd be the first person there to step up and you'd be like, hey, like back off, right? Back off, get your own sandwich. So it's a commercial. But again, you go through these experiences so that you can more deeply empathize with them, so that you can help transform them on a global scale. You can transform them on behalf of the collective. So this is about reestablishing unity, breaking through to new worlds, awakening unused potential, transforming, spiritual broadening, resurrection, breaking through, overcoming earthly attachments, success through clear decision. So this is a very, very powerful card. This is a very, very powerful card for each of us to be able to, again, use this as an invitation to give ourselves permission to be able to look back on our past, to see it from the bigger picture of how it has served as a catalyst, to see it as, in some ways, I'm not telling you to see it this way, but you can choose to see it as a gift. And again, not even just yes, in some ways you can see all of it as a gift. It's up to you, but look at the good things. Look at the good things that happen to you. You can see that as a gift. You can just be like, oh, wow, I'm grateful for that. But again, to be able to see everything that has happened to you in some ways has served you. And maybe how it is serving you hasn't fully revealed itself yet. Maybe that will come through in you actually reflecting on what your purpose is, on how you can actually use your experiences of the past to be able to help others, to be able to serve community, to be able to help assist others, to be able to counsel, to be able to help hold space. Because there are others. If you have gone through something, I guarantee you, you're not the only one. And there are going to be other people who go through this. And I think we as a collective team have to do what we can to be able to help break cycles, of subconscious programming and telling children how to live their lives and things like that. And, you know, and just like people getting taken advantage of and things like that. We need to be able to like rise together. We need to be able to change patterns. We need to be able to become aware of the subconscious. We need to be able to transmute the lead into gold. And it becomes our responsibility simply by showing up here. And again, if it is your story, if it is your responsibility, it is only yours because you are capable of carrying it. I want you to deeply understand that. And I want that message to be a message of hope for you, to remind yourself that you are strong enough, that you are brave enough, that you are only becoming stronger, that you are only learning to spread your wings more. And let this message just be a reminder, and let it be like, on behalf of the universe, I see you and I thank you. I thank you for what you have transmuted and are continuing to transmute on behalf of consciousness, for the hard things that you have gone through and how you have actually transformed those experiences into a positive outcome, into unity. And that is how you win, by knowing that you will always win when you can see it from that perspective, when you can see the bigger story of this being nothing but part of our highest growth. And so what is your next step? What is your next step to continue to serve your highest growth? What is your next step to continue to actualize this turning point? The past is the past. Only look back to see how far you have come. That is what I have to say to you. Bring what you need from you with the past. Leave the rest behind. Cut cords where you need to. Take the weeds out of your garden and make room for fresh things to grow. And move forward with clarity, intention, and inspiration. And a bunch of love. So So that's a very powerful card. I'm going to read through a couple of the comments in a second. So if anybody wants to leave any comments on how this resonated with them, please let me know. And absolutely, thank you so much, everyone, again, for joining in. And I'll read some of the yeah, thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. For those of you on Facebook as well, super happy to be able to have you here. And thank you again for acknowledging the value that we are providing for the community here. Again, this is such an awesome opportunity for us to be able to like share messages, share insight, share inspiration that are assisting people. And I thank you, every single one of you, for your support in every single way. Whether you're supporting on the Patreon, whether you're just watching this, whether you're sharing this, whether you're commenting in the chat, thank you for holding space and creating this supportive atmosphere for us as a team. So thank you. Thank you, Zai. Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, everybody, for just being open to being able to acknowledge what it is that we are creating here. And Christina, I just want to be able to read some of your comments. Christina, let us know. Let us know how this resonated with you. And again, this was, I saw some of your, Christina, I saw some of your comments. I know this was like, this is a bit of a heavy card. But again, it's also a very important card. And I think it is like something that, again, a lot of us are ready to be able to just kind of reflect on as well. And it was definitely pulled for a reason as well. For those of you tuning in on Instagram, please jump over to my YouTube, go to my Instagram story and swipe up. We got about 20 people tuned in on YouTube. You can join the party there as well. And again, for those of you tuning in on Facebook, thank you again for joining. Please feel free to share the broadcast. Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna read. So again, Christina, let me know how this resonates with you. Yo, Prince, welcome so much. Welcome, thank you for joining on Twitch as well. Please feel free to subscribe, and you can tune in on YouTube if you want. I'll post a link for that there as well. And I'm gonna read some of the comments here in a second. And yeah, for anybody here, if this card resonated with you, let us know in the comments. Let us know how this resonated with you. And I think there was a lot of people that were just like, yo, this card was talking to me. It's like this reading was, it's like I was meant to be here, man. So all right, so Christina is saying every single word. Yes, oh my goodness, he is reading me right now, every single word. What? Yes. So Christina, hey, there we go, right? To acknowledge it. Again, there's a lot of comments here, so I'm just kind of scrolling through. Christina is saying, I did not expect this at all. Christina, she said she's crying right now. Christina, holding space for that. And again, I totally like, crying is such a powerful thing. And absolutely, if you feel the emotions where it's like, ooh, okay, like that's good, because that means there's like a reality, like there's real feelings there. You know, like usually I find myself crying when I'm like feeling something very important to me. So again, I acknowledge the fact that crying is actually a way for our soul to be able to be like, yo, this is important. And again, to also be able to just remind ourselves of how deeply we feel and love ourselves. Shift our energy. Okay, I'm just scrolling through a little bit further here. Thank you again, everyone, for your comments. We're just holding space for each other. Yeah, Christina's saying a lot of people have removed themselves from life for the past few days, if I understand that. And so yeah, Christina, go ahead and let us know how that card resonated with you. And for anybody else, let us know in the comments how that card resonated with you as well. And even if you want to just drop an 1111 in the comments. And thank you again, Christina. Christina is our newest Patreon supporter. And again, what we'll do here, we'll just take a quick intermission and we will do another reading, and that reading will be for the next person who signs up for the Patreon. So thank you again, everyone. And for those of you tuning in on YouTube, if it's your first time here, be sure to subscribe and go ahead and check out my Patreon. If you're on desktop, you can literally like look at it while you're like watching this at the same time. Yo, Joey, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Joey, for tuning in. I'm not sure if Joey's in the YouTube now, but I saw you on the Instagram chat. Appreciate you, man. So Shima saying 1111, letting us know that resonated with them. And yeah, there's like some other conversations here that are like just kind of like side conversations, but hey, that's cool. I'm glad everybody else here is just kind of like holding space and supporting each other. So give me 2 seconds. I'm just kind of like reading, so that's why I'm not talking Awesome. If you're tuned in, on Facebook, go ahead and just drop an 1111 or drop something. Just let me know if you're tuned in on Instagram. Cool. Nina, thanks for tuning in. Happy to be able to have you here. Again, you know, we do these readings again for the collective. And yeah, just again, inviting everybody here to just kind of be open to the supportive space that we're creating here. Next Lifetime saying that card was definitely another slap in the face to get my shift together. Yeah, Joey, go to my latest Instagram story and swipe up, but it is also on my YouTube. Like if you go to my YouTube, it should be on the front, but you can also find the direct link. Go to my newest Instagram story and swipe up, and that will take you there. And I'll keep an eye open for you in the chat. So Christina, I can also send you a picture of the turning point. Like I can send you a picture of the write-up, and then you can read that afterwards. And for anybody else who wants that, let me know, and I can send that to you as well. Hey, Peace Monkey, thanks for joining in. You just missed like a super epic reading. We just did a reading for the turning point card. So, All right, so again, just give me a second here. We're just in a little bit of an intermission phase. And again, we're hanging tight right now. We will do... Abbott, is that shirt one of Brock's designs? This one is not Abbott, but I feel like I need to get more of Brock's clothing. This is just like standard Flower of Life shirt. If anybody wants this shirt, let me know. I'll send you the link. It's available at our Quest item shop. I'll put the link for that as well into the chat for anybody who wants to check that out. And yeah, so again, what we're gonna do here, just taking a little bit of a break, and we will do another reading once we have another person signed up for the Patreon. And once another person signs up for the Patreon, just as a bonus, we are going to actually do a shifter booster kit giveaway as well. So help us reach our objective of 2 new Patreon signups tonight. And we will also be doing a shifter booster kit giveaway. So that's going to be like 4 people in the community. And I'll tell you more about how to do that afterwards. Christina, Morphic Crystal says, the card got me to expose my emotions. As an Aries woman, I don't express my emotions because of my past, but you beautifully read me inside and out. Awesome. Happy to be able to hear that, Christina. And again, you know, like, it's very interesting. This is all just practice for me. And it's it's really, really reassuring and cool when I like just kind of do a reading and I'm just like, and I'm not overthinking it. And I'm not like trying to read into people. Like, I'm just kind of talking, right? Like, I'm just kind of like coming, like, this is source, just kind of coming through. But for you to be able to be like, oh, okay, yeah, like this resonates, like, that's awesome. Because that means like what we're doing here is working. And I think what we're doing here is like something very, very special and very unique within like the conscious community. So I'm happy that everybody here has found this. And again, absolutely, you are invited to stick around because there's a lot more awesome stuff that we got coming your way. Such as this Thursday, our team Synergy Circle, which is going to be again about talking about the global climate crisis. Absolutely, just in flow. So again, what we are going to do here, we are just hanging tight and we are going to wait a few moments for another Patreon sign up to be able to help reach our objective. And again, the Patreon is a monthly micro contribution to be able to help support the ongoing content that we are creating here through Paradigm Shift. For those of you who have not met me yet, my name is Brendan. I am a full-time conscious media creator. And I have been creating conscious media for over 10 years. I'm an award-winning Canadian filmmaker, and I have been dedicating myself to being able to help build conscious community by being able to help inspire other people to take action as leaders, aka shifters, within the shift in consciousness, by being able to help create a platform for other people to be able to help practice sharing their voice. And that project in itself is known as ParadigmShiftCentral.com. So if you haven't, go to my Patreon and you can find the links for all the stuff that I've done. I've made over 3 full-length movies. I've also done over 1 million broadcasts live on air. I've done like over 50 guided meditations. That's all free online. And I've done a bunch of free hug videos and like some humor videos. And that's the thing. Like, I want to make like so much more stuff. And yeah, the exciting thing is that there's still so much more to do. And part of what the Patreon is also supporting is, again, the evolution of the project that's basically going to help me help my friends get more content reaching a wider audience to be able to help support them as creators and as entrepreneurs. Like essentially me doing this, again, this is like multiple fold. We're creating awesome value for the community. We're inviting people to support on the Patreon, and we're evolving the project to continue to be able to serve the entire community. And we're creating a model that I think is a very good example for other people in the community, for the idea that, you know, through monthly micro donations of supporting artists, when we all give a little, we all get a lot. So I thank everyone again. And so when you sign up for the Patreon, you can get one of these beautiful Light Guardian crystals. And if you sign up at the $11 level, you can also get one of the Lumerian ones. So hey, if you've been following my work for maybe like a month, maybe a couple years, maybe a couple eons, and you haven't yet, please feel free to check out the Patreon. And now is a great time to sign up, because the next person who signs up will be the next person who we do a reading for. And also that person will be able to get a Light Guardian crystal for pay what you wish. And again, that's a super awesome deal. And again, that's because I want to be able to get these items to you. And hey, Rebecca, thanks so much for tuning in. Rebecca is one of our recent Patreon supporters as well. Seth, good to see you, dude. For everybody here who's on Instagram, go to my Instagram story and swipe up to be able to tune in on YouTube. That's like where like all the other people are hanging out. So I want you to be able to jump over there and get synced up on YouTube. And we'll see how many people we have tuned in on YouTube. So again, what we're doing right now, we're just hanging out. We're going to do another reading after we have another person signed up for the Patreon. And honestly, even if anybody here has already signed up for the Patreon, even if you just want to like increase your donation, like if you want to increase your donation, even just by like $3, $5, $10, $1 million, that can count. That can count as like a chance for us to be able to do another reading. And then we'll do a reading literally just for someone right out of the chat. So Nina, just seeing your comment, Nina's asking, how did you come to have your spiritual awakening? That is a big question in itself, but overall I would just say by being curious, you know, by being curious and by asking questions and by tapping into like the childlike nature of my heart that sees the world through the eyes of wonder and awe. And by researching and by opening myself to experience and by experiencing synchronicities and by connecting with other people and by talking and by finding other mirrors to help assist me in my growth. Like that is how we awaken, is by being able to be amongst others who are in their own journey of awakening. And then we see how we can like grow through that relationship. So, all right. So again, thank you everyone so much for being here. We're going to do another reading once we have another person signed up for the Patreon. So again, you guys, you keep the show going by signing up for the Patreon and helping us reach our objective. And again, once we get another person signed up for the Patreon, then we will also be giving away a shifter booster kit for somebody here in the broadcast, which is a super awesome incentive. And yeah, you can also get all sorts of cool things. And I'll also include some like epic shift buttons as well. So here's a couple other shift buttons. Can anybody tell me what this symbol is? Can you tell me what this symbol is? Go ahead. Let me know. And here's the paradigm shift sigil. Quick question. When you see this paradigm shift sigil, what do you see or what do you feel? What does it remind you of? Like this is like the sigil that I've created for the project. Again, we're just kind of chit-chatting here as we're waiting for another person to sign up for the Patreon. And I'm just kind of curious, like when you see this, what do you see? What do you feel? And there's no right or wrong answer as well. So go ahead and let me know in the chat. All right. Allow me to just take a break here. Again, we have been doing, we did 6 broadcasts in 3 days. And this is like kind of like the end of the marathon, even though tomorrow we have another broadcast again for our synergy circle. Seth says Sri Lanka. This Sri Lanka, I believe, is a place, but it is the Sri Yantra is what it is. And I'm sure somebody else probably would have put that in as well. Morphic Christina says third eye. I feel protection. Interesting. I like that. No, definitely. You guys are picking up on it. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things encoded into it. All right. Whew. All right. Thanks again, everyone, for being here. My third eye opens up quick when I see your symbol. Oh, interesting. That's cool. No, this symbol is definitely like a symbol that's like very ancient yet futuristic at the same time. And it's meant to be like a compass, a beacon, a portal, and like the sacred geometry actually like fits inside of it. It's like super hyperdimensional. Yes. All right, so thank you again, everyone, for joining in. Like I said, we're just hanging out here. We're gonna do another reading once we have another person signed up for the Patreon. So next life, you're asking. So if I'm reading their question. If I order the buttons, it says random. Does this mean one of each? There are over like 60 different designs, so it would literally be random. But honestly, if you send me a direct message and you let me know which ones you want, aka message me on Instagram, I can put in whatever ones you want. Like, that's totally cool. And a reminder that if you're looking to get items from the shop, honestly, you'll save money if you sign up for the Patreon and use the 25% discount code, and then use like whatever you want to order from the shop. So if you sign up for the Patreon for $3 and you're ordering something that's like $30, and then you would save like $6, and then you would be able to just like continue like investing that in future orders as well. So, oh yeah, there's a lot of designs. There's like way more that we have, and there's going to be like way more shift buttons coming in the future as well. So again, that's at the quest item shop. So again, for everybody here, thanks so much for checking this out. And also, if you haven't yet, you can also subscribe to our newsletter. So I'm just going to post a link in there for the newsletter. And yeah, that will be released tomorrow. So again, tomorrow I'm going to be working on the video of the global climate march that I was filming last week. And that's like a super epic video. It's taken me a while to edit it because that's like a lot that goes into editing that. And again, that's what you guys are helping support on Patreon. You're helping support like the creation of like awesome inspirational content that has like high value to it. You know, stuff that we're creating for the team that is like helping document the shift and helping inspire people. Yeah, I'm about to load up my backpack with them. Yeah, next lifetime, definitely, like seriously, they will like guaranteed to evoke synchronicity. Like, I've been using them for years, and I've met a lot of people using the shift buttons. So thank you again, everyone. For those of you tuning in on Instagram, go to my Instagram story and swipe up to join on YouTube, and then you can get like the full broadcast experience. This is like our secondary camera. So if you're watching this, Shayla, if you're watching this on Instagram, go to my last Instagram story and swipe up to join on YouTube, and you can open up there. So like I said, we are just hanging tight right now. We're gonna do another reading for the next person to sign up on Patreon. So go ahead and let us even know. Just let us know in the comments if you're interested or in the process of signing up on Patreon. It only takes about 3 minutes to sign up. Yeah, and so Christina, since you signed up for the Patreon, what you can do is you can order one of the Light Guardian crystals for pay what you wish, and again, help cover shipping costs to the best of your ability. And then we can put in a couple extra shift buttons for you. But then if you want to order anything else, you can also add that to the package as well. So it's, again, like the stuff that I provide, I like focus on providing it with like as much value as possible, and in like very, very affordable ways. Because normally, like, those buttons, if you were to buy those at like Hot Topic, you would pay like $3 or $4 like per button. And I make them available for pretty much like $1 each, which is a super awesome deal. So, all right. So, thank you again, everyone. We're just taking a little bit of a break here as we hold tight for somebody to be able to sign up for the Patreon. And then that will be the next person who we do the next reading for, which again is not just a reading for you, but it's a reading for the team. So help us reach our objective of 2 new Patreon signups tonight. So next lifetime, like, honestly, if you're interested in getting stuff from the store, definitely consider signing up for the Patreon as well. I'm just checking some comments here. And if anybody here is interested in joining on air for the broadcast tomorrow, for the global climate crisis, let us know. And that's gonna be at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Whew. All right, thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. I'm glad everybody here. Wait, next lifetime, you're already signed up. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm like, I don't always know every single person's name on the Patreon. Wait, so is there a separate store on Patreon? No, like, next lifetime, if you're comfortable, can you just share your first name like on the Patreon? Like, you're definitely signed up for the Patreon, yeah? And so like if you're signed up for the Patreon, I would have sent you a discount code. So no, there is not a separate store on the Patreon, but you get the discount code, which allows you to use that code on the Patreon. Shayla is asking, when is my birthday? My birthday is July 18th, and I am a Cancer on the cusp of Leo with a little bit of Sag. So, all right. So thank you again, everyone. Oh, okay, cool, sweet. Thanks, Brendan. Thanks for signing up. And yeah, that was 2 weeks ago that you signed up. Sweet, awesome. Brendan S. Correct. Yes. Okay, cool. Thanks again, dude. Appreciate it. I apologize. There's just so many awesome people here. Sometimes I lose track of who's who, especially when everyone has like at least 3 different names. So, all right. Okay, so like I said, I want to be able to do another reading. And again, honestly, Brendan, anybody else, if you even want to increase your Patreon pledge, that's totally cool too. And then that will be also like a chance for us to be able to do one more reading in the broadcast tonight. And we've been providing some like awesome value. Like we did a lot of readings this morning. And yeah, we've already done like 2 awesome readings during this broadcast. Like, geez, how many readings did I do this week? A lot. But again, there's a lot that people have gotten out of it. So I thank everyone again. So again, if anybody here is already signed up for the Patreon, if you even want to increase your Patreon just by a few dollars, that's absolutely cool. Oh, sweet. I think we did just get a new Patreon sign up. We did. Hooray. Congratulations, everyone. We got a new Patreon sign up. All right. Thank you so much to Alondra. If I'm pronouncing that correctly. Thank you, Alondra, so much for signing up to the Patreon. And Alondra, let us know where you are in the chat. And again, what we'll do, because I mentioned we were going to do a special shifter booster kit giveaway. And for those of you who are like about to order shift buttons, maybe save this for someone else, you know? But yeah, we'll do that shortly. Let me just update the screen info here. And Alondra, go ahead and let me know where you're tuned in. Sweet. Okay, Alondra is on the YouTube, or sorry, on the Facebook chat. So Alondra, thank you so much for signing up. And Alondra, please make sure to send me a direct message afterwards. And again, so with the light guarding crystals, again, when people sign up on the Patreon, they can get a light guardian crystal for an additional pay what you wish contribution, with the agreement and understanding that by doing that, by agreeing to that, it is also agreeing to be able to like continue supporting on the Patreon to the best of your ability. And that's basically like the simple agreement. Because again, like these in themselves have a value where like these sell between like $35 and $60 and things like that. So again, by doing it that way, it just creates like a very powerful regenerative model that supports the value that we're creating. So again, just wanted to be able to remind people that who are signing up for the Patreon. And again, if anybody wants to upgrade to the $11, then you can get one of the Lumerians. And again, the Lumerians, like these things sell for like, again, between like 60 and 100. And these are like super, super rare, and they're only going to be getting more rare. And I'll show you a couple of the other Lumerian ones as well. And they're all different sizes, right? Like every single one is different. So here's like a super dope green one. Like look at that. Like look at this lightsaber. So, all right. So we're going to get into the next reading for Alondra. For those of you tuning in on Instagram, go to my Instagram story and swipe up there to be able to join in. And Alondra, if this is your first time tuning in, please feel free to let me know, and let me know if you're ready for that reading, and we're going to get right into this. And again, send me a direct message afterwards, and we'll make sure that we get everything all set up. All right. Okay, so for I'm just going to update the on-screen info here. So congratulations, everyone. We are now at 121 Patreon supporters. And I'm just going to update the info here so that we can see Alondra. It's a very awesome name. And thank you again. Thank you to Alondra. Thank you to Christina. Thank you to Rebecca. And thank you to Percy, some of our recent Patreon supporters who have been signing up. And again, if anybody watching this, you can sign up at any time. Like, even if you sign up later, you can still get a private tarot reading with me as well. So that's an option here. So Alondra, awesome. Sweet. Alondra is ready for the reading. Okay, so what we're going to do, we are going to do this reading for Alondra. We're going to focus on this. And then after that, I'm going to do the instructions for the Shifter Booster Kit giveaway. And again, if we get one more reading for tonight's broadcast, then we will do a special reading from the Lightworker Oracle deck. So if we can reach 3 Patreon signups during this broadcast, we can do a Lightworker Oracle card reading. And again, and even in addition to a new sign up, if anybody here just wants to increase their pledge, that's totally an option too. Man, can you guys tell that I'm like kind of sweating? It's not really, I don't know. Apparently I'm sweating. I think it's just, oh, probably because my window's not open. There we go. Sweet. All right. So Alondra, thank you so much for being here. And Alondra is in the Facebook chat. And for everybody on the YouTube chat, thank you so much. And let's get ready for another reading. So awesome. All right, so for Alondra, for everybody here, I just invite you to be able to bring yourself into that heart space. Bring yourself into that space of gratitude. So we'll just take a few moments here. Deep, gentle inhale. Nice, relaxing exhale. Again, gentle inhale. Gentle exhale. As we do this, we just allow ourselves to be present. Allow ourselves to just be in that space of feeling grateful, feeling love. Ooh, of feeling that cool breeze as now I got my window open. Ooh, that feels good. All right. Alondra, thank you again for your support on the Patreon. Thank you everyone for your support in all forms. It is all equally appreciated. Alondra, I invite you to bring yourself into the intention of show me what I need to see. Again, show us what I need to see. Show us what we need to see. And Alondra, for everybody here, just allow yourself to just kind of like chill out, meditate, focus your intention. And Alondra, take a few breaths here, and when you are ready, you're going to type now into the chat, and then we are going to synchronistically pull a card for you. So I'm just going to charge it up here. Take your time, Alondra. We're just going to add some additional magic to this synchronistic moment. And so as we come together as community, we allow ourselves to celebrate within this unity for more of us to truly see the magic that has always been. The magic that is within the flowers and the trees and in the winds and in the waters, as we remind ourselves the truth that we share as sisters and as brothers, as children here of the earth, to bring about the magic of this cosmic rebirth, to be in this place of our turning points for us to say yes. And as Alondra says, now we shall continue to do our best. So there we go, pulling the card here. Awesome. Wow. Whoa. Weird. Hold on a second. That is so weird. Okay. This is interesting. I'll explain to you in a second why it's like extra interesting. All right, so here's the card that we got for Alondra. And hey, Brendan, I just saw you increase on the Patreon. Thank you so much, brother. Awesome. That's beautiful. All right. And honestly, again, anybody else, just bonus signups tonight is all the more awesome. But let's focus on this reading here right now. For those of you tuning in on Instagram, go to my Instagram story and swipe up so you can watch on YouTube and get the proper angle. The card that we have pulled here for Alondra is the card of reverse. Reverse. So why it was interesting that this card was pulled is that for some reason, like, this is the deck, and for some reason that card that was pulled was like face up. I didn't notice at the time, but like I think there's actually probably like a couple cards that are probably face up, but it was weird because it was like it just happened to be face up out of all the other cards, and so it was already like as if it was like ready to speak to us here. So allow me to open up the card, open up the book here, and we shall talk a little bit more about the card reverse. So awesome. Sweet. Again, thank you so much, everyone, for being here, for your support. And yeah, let's get right into this reading. And I'll keep an eye on the Patreon as we go through this. And yeah, we'll do another, we'll do like one more reading after this. And we'll do as many readings as we have people signing up for. So, Alondra, thank you so much for being here. And let's focus in on this reading. So, image wise, what is it that we are looking at here? We have an androgynous being kind of coming down from the heavens or from the sky, and they're kind of playing with like this little ball, this little tiny like spherical object, and you can see it's kind of like reflecting the horizon, and you can see the ground below with this beautiful stream, and you can see there's actually like no stars in the sky, but there's like little stars inside of this person, inside of this being, and they're kind of like semi-transparent, and they have this very graceful form to them. So it's a very, very beautiful image as well. So allow us to read this card here. And again, for Alondra, let yourself just be open to being able to receive the wisdom, the message on behalf of the universe for us in this moment as a team. And again, for everybody here, if you're here, this message is for you. So let me just get a sip here. So even if you want, you can even like close your eyes while listening to this. All right. Reverse. The image. As if from another world, an androgynous creature playing with a crystal ball comes forth from a deep blue sky. Meaning, after having previously reached the highest point of increasing soul substance in the image of strength, the individual has now come to a point of return. Be it through an increase in materialistic tendencies in the life of man, or through a life crisis, man is again and again regularly confronted with the results of their action. This causes them to question their life up to now, and to bring forth change. The evaluation of past life experiences requires turning inward and going back to one's roots. As a result of his way of life, the individual, conscious of the momentary situation, stands on the threshold between past and future. As a result of deep insight, the release of past ways of thinking, followed by a change in his ways of life, enables man to give his life new meaning. Through the ability to see life from another point of view, he is able to win deeper insight into the connections of a universal world order. I'm going to reread that. Through the ability to see life from another perspective, another point of view, he is able to win deeper insight into the connections of a universal world order. By recognizing his true roots in cosmic reality, he becomes aware of his identity as a spiritual being and is able to unconditionally trust in divine leadership. With the goal of changing the conditions of his life, which no longer stand up to advanced observation, he must recognize that outer change can only happen by changing on the inside first. For this, a contemplative mindset and an examination of one's worldviews and beliefs are necessary. Astrological significance: Uranus at midheaven, Pisces. Keywords: new way of looking at things, letting go of established ways of thinking, divine leadership, learning processes, alternative lifestyles, examination of one's worldview, insight into higher connections, interchange, deeper recognition, mindfulness. Traditional meaning: change, broadening of one's consciousness, insight, spiritual awakening, change of lifestyle, renewal of worldviews, faith, inner stillness, waiting, other perspectives, clarity of thought, change of mind. So this is a very interesting and a very important card to receive, especially one thing that you will notice, one thing that usually happens when we do these broadcasts is that the cards in themselves don't always just like, they're not just like individual cards. Like what will usually happen is that the cards that we do in a single broadcast will often relate to one another. Give me 2 seconds here. I was just paying attention to the Instagram because I had to reset it there. Perfect. So For Alondra, just confirm for me, were you here a moment ago when we previously did the card on the turning point? And let us know, because there's some things here that definitely relate to the concept of the turning point, but kind of expand on it in a slightly different way. Because again, with the turning point that we were talking about, a lot of that was about being able to like look back, to change how we see the past, to release old subconscious programmings, and to move forward with a new perspective, with a new sense of motivation. And again, with this card, it is very interesting because it is really about being able to look back at our past, to be able to examine things, to be able to be very honest and very real and very humble with how the past has allowed us to get to where we are now, as we get ready to move into the future, as we get ready to be able to take the next steps into new chapters. And this is like the important thing, is that like in order to be able to like move into new chapters, it's important for us to be able to acknowledge where we have come from. It's important for us to be able to acknowledge what lessons have served us up until this point. And so again, with this word, the key words in this: new ways of looking at things, letting go of established ways of thinking, divine leadership. The divine leadership in this is such a powerful thing, because a big part of this card for you, Alejandro, and for everyone here, is to really practice embodying what being a spiritual being means in a practical way, in a way that changes how you relate to the everyday world around you, in a way that changes how you relate to your goals, to people, to your aspirations, to your everyday habits, and to be able to, again, see the divine leadership that is enacting itself through you, that allows you to be able to trust the process on a very deep level, on a level which, it's interesting. This is a very, very interesting thing. And I want to just be able to mention this because I feel like some people here will definitely resonate with this. When we're kind of going through this process of awakening, there will kind of be like a variety of stages that we go through. One of them is that we're just kind of living in someone else's story, but we're not fully awake. And we're just kind of like autonomous, like automatically, we're just kind of an automaton, and we're just kind of going through the system. We're just kind of going through something because somebody else told us to do this. Eventually, what will happen is that we will go through a process of awakening, and we will be like, oh, wait, this is what this card is talking about. Let's look at things. Is this serving me? What story am I living? How can I change things? How can I bring in like alternative lifestyles? And then when we do this, it brings us into this place of free will. It brings us into this place of just kind of having like much more freedom, much more ability to make choices. But what happens beyond that is that eventually we begin to develop this ability to practice being able to like connect deeply with the intelligence that flows through us, to the point where it's like we still have free will, but we kind of surrender, not literally surrender, but we kind of open ourselves up to becoming an instrument for the universe to be able to guide us. And this is kind of this is like what I see in this card being a very, very powerful thing, because it definitely relates to this idea of divine leadership. It relates to this idea that there is the universe helping lead us through all of these situations we are in. And what we can do on a regular basis is to practice connecting to it, practice connecting to our heart, practice connecting to our intuition, practice connecting to that spiritual intelligence within us. And then as we get good at doing that, in addition to being able to like adjust our lifestyles and kind of like make sure that we're moving things out of the way that might be blocking us from opening up into focusing on these parts of our life, we allow ourselves to move forward into the future with a degree of advanced observation, and to understand that, again, the change that we are looking for, not only is it already there, but it begins by shifting the way in which we relate to it from within. And so that is like a very, very important card within this, the idea that with the goal of changing the conditions of our life, which no longer stand up to advanced observation, we must recognize the outer change can only happen by changing the inside first. So for Alejandro, for you to be able to receive this card, and for everybody here, pay attention to where you are putting your energy. Are you constantly trying to change things by like changing the outside? Or is there stuff that you need to be able to focus on by turning your attention inwards, by shifting your focus inwards, knowing that in doing so, it will allow you to show up for the work on the outside with even more clarity, with more inspiration, with more motivation, with a deeper recognition. So this card is such an important card for reminding us to be able to kind of slow down before we get ready to move into that next chapter, to be able to observe our habits that we are living, and to be able to understand like how, again, the evaluation of past life experiences requires turning inward and going to one's roots. As a result of the way of life, the individual, conscious of the momentary situation, stands on the threshold between past and future. To use this card to be able to like practice traveling through time from the present moment, to practice seeing our past, seeing how we relate to it, seeing what situations have served us, seeing which lessons have given us like what we need, that have given us more of our inner strength, and then at the same time also being able to look to the future and being able to listen to our heart and being able to understand how getting into that place in the future is not always about just kind of like physically striving for it, but again, it's by making sure that we're doing the inner work, by making sure that we're practicing being mindful, to practice making sure, this is like a powerful thing, to practice making sure that we are responding opposed to reacting. So again, traditional meanings in this: change, broadening of consciousness, insight, spiritual awakening, change of lifestyle, renewal of worldviews, faith, inner stillness, waiting, other perspectives, clarity of thought, change of mind. So Alejandro, I see this as a card to be able to acknowledge, to be able to recognize the work that is required, in order to be able to show up to the future in the best way possible. And again, that comes by us being able to bring in more responsibility, by us being able to renew the ways in which we see the world, by us being able to connect deeper with our own faith and trusting our divine leadership and our ability to be conduits for consciousness, to move through with this intelligence, to trust in our ability to be able to like go left when we need to go left, go right when we need to go right, say yes when we need to say yes, say no when we need to say no, and to get really good at listening to that wisdom of the heart. And that comes through everyday practice of mindfulness, that comes through connection, that comes through like, even just like communing with nature in a lot of ways as well. So yes, I do see this card as, again, being a very important card to reflect that as we get ready to move into the future, we need to be able to practice looking into the past. We need to be able to practice extracting the lessons. We need to be able to practice bringing with us as much clarity into this present moment as we get ready to move forward with even more motivation, with even more inspiration, and with even more trust, with even more leadership within our own selves. So how can we become better leaders of ourselves? How can we become better leaders of our own life? This card is like a card that really calls us into responsibility as well, making sure that we're learning, making sure that we're showing up as good students, something that I talk about time and time again, making sure that we're paying attention to the tests that the universe is giving us, making sure that we're studying, making sure that we're reflecting, making sure that we're extracting the lessons. So yes, I see this as a very important card to be able to remind us so much. Again, by recognizing the true roots in cosmic reality, we become aware of the identity as a spiritual being and are able to unconditionally trust in divine leadership. What would it feel like? What would it feel like to unconditionally trust? And can you feel that? Can you give yourself permission to feel that? And that feeling comes from a deep knowing. And that knowing is something you can tap into through reflection, but also through direct experience. And again, even just through us simply talking about it here, by like literally us just kind of reminding us and be like, yes, there is a divine intelligence within your heart that is here to guide you. And it is the ego mind that will often kind of distract you from listening to that. And so as we bring more stillness into our own being, as we bring more mindfulness into our own being, as we practice waiting, as we practice changing our mind and changing our thoughts and changing how we relate to our thoughts, then we get better at listening to that wisdom of the heart. And we get better at listening to that inner leadership, that part of ourselves that is guiding us towards more and more gifts, more and more synchronicities. So Alondra, let me know in the comments how this resonates with you. And I'm not sure if you did see the card that we did pull before this. The turning point card, which again it's similar. It's very similar to this card. Both of them are talking about like a similar process, but I think this card is just kind of like seeing it from a slightly different angle as well. As a result of the way of life, the individual, conscious of the momentary situation, stands on the threshold between the past and the future. So can you feel that? Can you feel the future ahead of you? Can you feel the past behind you? And can you feel where you are in the now? And can you continue to kind of like move into the future, already feeling the future? That in itself is a very powerful practice. Practice feeling the future. Practice feeling what your achievements feel like. Practice feeling the things that you want to be able to accomplish within your own lifetime. Practice the things that you want to manifest within a week from now. Practice what you want to feel like in a day from now. Practice what tomorrow is going to feel like. And give yourself that gift. Because as you practice kind of aligning with that future through the practice of mindfulness and feeling, you literally align yourself with it from a vibrational frequency that brings that reality into your experience. So Alondra, if you're still there, let us know in the chat. I'm not 100% if you're still in the chat or not. And let us know how that resonates with you. But for everybody here, please feel free to let us know how that resonated with you as well. And thank you again, Morphic Crystal and Brendan in the chat, seeing your comments there. Hey, Peace Monkey, welcome back. Next Lifetime, aka Brendan, says, I need to work on my intuition for sure. Christina says, I'm extremely grateful to be here with you guys. Thank you for an awesome night. Awesome. Thank you, Christina. Saying meditation helps. I suggest you use frequency hertz to increase your intuition. And you guys are just kind of like chatting there. The only intuition I've felt is when I meditate. I really feel the presence of guidance, but I don't do it enough. Yeah, absolutely. Meditation is always something that all of us could do more of. Little ways and big ways. So Alondra, I'm not 100% if you're there or not, but if you are there, please feel free to let me know, and I'll make sure that I send you a recording for this afterwards as well. And we'll see how many people we have in the broadcast right now checking in. Looks like we still got about at least like 10 people. Even some people tuning in on Twitch and some people tuning in on Instagram. Again, if you're on Instagram, go to our Instagram story and swipe up to be able to tune in on YouTube, and you can join in on there too as well. So I'm not seeing any comments in the Facebook as it is right now. And that's totally okay. And again, I appreciate everybody just hanging out and being able to help us hold space for that reading. And again, absolutely, please feel free. Let me know. Drop an 1111 in the chat if there's elements of that card that resonate with you. And again, I think I see that card as kind of like an extension of the last card too. So it's kind of like double reading with a similar theme there as well, but just really hitting home some important themes there as well. So with that said, we're just going to take a little bit of a break, but again, I want to be able to read any comments on what people felt with that card. And with that said, yeah, we can still do one more reading, and that will be with the Oracle deck. And that was because Brendan updated his Patreon. And thank you, brother, for doing that as well. And so we did get, again, we got 2 Patreon signups tonight. I'll have to check with Alondra. I'll try and send them a message as well. Let me just see. So, awesome. Sweet. Thank you again, everyone, so much for holding space. Again, there's been a lot of energy that has gone into these readings over these past few days. Again, we literally did 6 broadcasts in 3 days. And I don't think I'm going to do that again anytime soon, to be honest, because that was like a lot of energy And there was a bit of an experiment, but I wanted to be able to do it because, again, we're working towards the end of the month as the Patreon donations process on the beginning of October 1st, and we're working on inviting as many people as we can onto the Patreon to be able to help increase the support there to get ready for next phases of the project that we got coming up for the community. Let me just change the on-screen there. Perfect. So, sweet. So again, allow me to just take a quick intermission. And again, if we can get another Patreon sign up during this broadcast, that is just like extra bonus points. And I do want to be able to do the giveaway for a shifter booster kit. So this would be for like a mini shifter booster kit. So first of all, if someone here would like to be able to get the shifter booster kit that we're going to be giving away because we got like an additional sign up during the broadcast, then drop a 777 into the chat. So I just want to be able to do this, just be able to see how many people we got like engaged in the chat on the broadcast right now. Because if it's only like, I just want to be able to make sure that we got enough people. And yeah, and so again, we can do one more reading. Again, Brendan updated his Patreon pledge, so I said that that would still count. And so we can still do one more reading for the team, and that's going to be from the Lightworker Oracle deck, and that's like a whole different type of reading. And but if we do have anybody else here who wants to sign up for the Patreon, again, it only takes 3 minutes to sign up for the Patreon, and it is super appreciated. And again, that helps support the awesome value that we are creating here as a community. So again, you can sign up with $3, $5, $11, or $1 million, whatever works for you. Sweet. All right. I was just reading a comment there. Okay. So again, if anybody here who wants a shifter booster kit, drop a 777 into the chat. And again, like I said, I think we got about like 8 people tuned in on YouTube right now. So for those of you who are on YouTube, if you're tuned in on YouTube, this is your chance to engage in the chat and let us know. Again, let us know by typing in 777 into the chat if you would like to be able to like possibly get the shifter booster kit that we're going to do a special giveaway for during this broadcast in the next minute. So again, I want to be able to make sure that we got at least like 5 people. And again, and like like Brendan, like Brendan, Christina, like technically you guys can still get it. Like I'm not going to stop you from getting it. But again, it's just like if you're planning on ordering other stuff at the same time, then you can always like donate it and stuff like that. But whatever works. I'm not going to stop you from participating. I appreciate you guys being here, and you're more than welcome to. So, all right, do we got at least 5 people? All right, Josie, Morphic, Rise Above and Beyond, Next Lifetime, aka Brendan. Let's get one more person with the 777 in the comments. And again, you're dropping a 777 to let me know that you would like to be eligible for the shifter booster kit. All right, cool. All right, okay, so that's good enough. Okay, so what? Yeah, it's okay. No worries, Brendan. All right, so what we're gonna do for the shifter booster kit giveaway, let me just decide what the best way to do this is. I want to be able to do this in a way that makes sense. Let me just take a second to think here. There's a couple ideas that I have in mind. I just want to make sure that I'm like choosing one that's gonna like make the most sense. Okay, we'll just do it this way. We'll keep it simple. All right. If you would like to be able to get a shifter booster kit as part of this giveaway, thanks to getting the additional Patreon signups tonight, then all you have to do, these are the instructions. I'm just gonna type them out here. Okay, I just typed out the instructions that way so people can like see it as I explain it here. Okay, so if you would like to be able to get a shifter booster kit, these are the instructions for you. And again, the shifter booster kit, those are the items that you can get from questitemshop.com. You can get free hug buttons. You can get Eye of Ra buttons. You can get Siriantra buttons. You can get wolf buttons. You can get beautiful psychedelic awesome chakra person buttons created by artists such as Lewis Dyer, friends in our community. Okay, so here are the instructions. In order to be able to get this shifter booster kit package, in order to be able to get this shifter booster kit package, these are the instructions. Be the third person to message me on my Instagram right now telling me why you want a shifter booster kit. So keep in mind, you want to be the third person. Listen to your intuition. Time it out a bit. Don't send it right away. Take a couple breaths. Think about what you're going to say. And put some thought into what you're going to say. It can literally be like one sentence or it can be a small paragraph. But be the third person. I just posted the link into the chat so you guys can see it there. Be the third person to message me now on Instagram and tell me why you want a shifter booster kit. And then I will check that out a little bit later. I'm not even sure if I'm going to I guess I could check it out. We'll check it out after we do the next reading. Is what we will do. So, awesome. All right, so we'll keep an eye open for that. People are like, this is fun. Thank you, everyone. Natasha, thanks for tuning in on Facebook. I'll put the instructions in there on Facebook as well. All right. I'm glad you guys are having fun. Sweet. All right, I'll post a link into the Twitch. I don't think anybody's watching on Twitch right now. I'm so glad I don't just broadcast on Twitch. Twitch is a very it's a very different space. So let's see. Yeah, there's nobody even watching on Twitch right now. But people always drop in randomly, which is kind of fun. For those of you who are tuning in on Instagram, please feel free to swipe up on my Instagram story to tune in on YouTube. So again, we're going to get in one more reading. I would love to be able to get one more Patreon sign up by tonight's broadcast to officially meet our objective of 3 Patreon signups. And again, if you would like to be able to sign up for the Patreon, go ahead. It only takes about 3 minutes to be able to sign up. And that's with a monthly micro contribution. And again, the donations don't process until October 1st. And you can sign up with a contribution of $3, $5, or $11, or $1 million. And when you sign up at the $11, that also gives you access as a leading member within the community, which is like our private membership, and gives you additional perks as well. So let's see. Are people starting to send me messages? Has that happened yet? I feel like everyone's just like patiently waiting. So. Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Natasha, for tuning in. All right. So again, if this is anyone's first time here, thank you so much for tuning in. We've done 6 broadcasts in the past 3 days, and I'll be doing more broadcasts once we are able to do them. But tomorrow night we're going to be doing our special synergy circle. So if you haven't already yet, make sure that you are signed up on my YouTube as well. So I'm going to put the link for that. And also you can make sure that you're subscribed to the newsletter. So if anybody here isn't subscribed to the newsletter, please do that. Please subscribe to the newsletter as like a bonus for you as well. And that will give you a reminder for upcoming broadcasts and more content. Weird. I don't know why it doesn't let me post that link. Does that work? There we go. All right, that's a link for the sign up there. All right, so like I said, we're gonna get into one more reading from the Oracle deck. I would still like to be able to work towards our objective of getting one more Patreon sign up during tonight's broadcast. That would be super appreciated. Again, that just helps us continue to create and support the value that we are creating here for the community. So if you haven't already yet, go ahead and check out my Patreon. And again, for those of you who haven't met me yet, I'm a full-time conscious media creator. Natasha, if you would like to be able to get a reading, that reading would be available for people signing up on the Patreon. And again, what we do through the broadcast, again, we provide like awesome value and readings for the entire community. And we do like readings straight out of the chat, where we choose people right out of the chat, and that happens at the beginning of the broadcast, and then people can jump the line by signing up to the Patreon, and that helps us reach our goals on Patreon while also providing awesome value to the community. So we get a little bit of both. So Natasha, if you would like to be able to get a reading, I can also do private readings as well, if that's something that's more interesting to you. Then you can also sign up for the Patreon. Again, that's a monthly micro contribution. And okay, again, reminder, if anybody is messaging me about getting a shifter booster kit, I need you to tell me, like, why do you want a shifter booster kit? I'm not just telling you to message me. Tell me why you want a shifter booster kit. That's very important. That's part of the instructions. If you don't follow the instructions, then you won't be able to be eligible. So make sure that you tell me why you want a shifter booster kit, and like take a moment, put some thought into it. So all right, so like I said, we're gonna get into this next reading here in a second. Thanks everyone again so much for hanging out with us. And if anybody here is in the process of signing up for the Patreon, please feel free to let us know. This will be the last reading for tonight unless we get one more person signed up for the Patreon. And again, that can be with a monthly contribution of your choice. And thank you again, everyone, for tuning in on Instagram. If you're tuning in on Instagram, make sure you swipe up on my Instagram story to join in on YouTube as well. And yeah, good job, team, on just like being able to hold space during this broadcast. And we've definitely like created some awesome content. And yeah, we've like we've gotten some new Patreon signups, and we've made some new friends, and we've shifted a few paradigms, and we've cried a few tears. So awesome. All right, let me get this deck ready. And yeah, I'm just going to take a few drinks here. So again, this will be our last reading for tonight, unless we get one more person signed up for the Patreon, or if anybody else wants to increase their Patreon pledge, that's always an option too. That's good green tea. All right. So let's see. Did those messages come through on the Instagrams yet? You guys are being so patient with those messages. I'll let you know if we've determined a winner once it happened, but I can't tell you like how many people have messaged or not, so. All right, so let me just check in here. Ooh, cool breeze through the window. That feels good. All right. So for anybody here who's in the chat, just go ahead and drop a 222 in the chat and just let me know that you're there. And we will move into this next reading with the Lightworker Oracle deck. And what? Christina, you're on the Instagram and the YouTube at the same time? Wait, Brendan, are you making fun of me? Is that what that is? Are you waiting for the reading? Is that what that is? Patience, young Jedi. So, all right. Cool. All right. Thank you again, everyone, so much for tuning in. So again, this will be our last reading for tonight, unless we do get one more person signed up for the Patreon, and then we will be at 122 Patreon supporters. So thank you again, everyone, for your support in all forms. Super appreciated. Awesome. Christina's on Instagram and YouTube at the same time. Good for you. All right. So, oh. Yeah, are you guys like still waiting to send the DMs? If everyone just waits, then no one's gonna get it. Like, I think that's what like again, this is kind of like experimental. I mean, I find it kind of amusing too. Everyone's like, wait for it, wait for it. Sometime tomorrow, you guys are probably gonna send it, hopefully. So, all right, cool. All right, let's get into this next reading. Cool. All right, so like I said, this will be our last reading tonight. If we do have another person signed up for the Patreon, then we'll do one more reading. But yeah, otherwise, this will be our last reading to end off 6 broadcasts in 3 days. So you guys are just like sitting there waiting for each other. That's funny. All right. Okay, I think Natasha is in the process of signing up. Awesome. Thank you so much, Natasha. We'll keep an eye open for that. And if that's the case, what we may want to do, Brendan, I want to be able to check in with you. What I think I would prefer to do is to wait for Natasha to sign up and then combine this into being the last reading. And I'm literally saying that because I want to be able to focus my energy. And if Natasha's signing up, I want her to be able to like get like the what is left of my energy right now. Because I mean, again, we've been doing this broadcast like 2.5 hours, right? And again, I appreciate you guys acknowledging the energy that goes into us doing this. And Natasha, if it's your first time here, absolutely no rush on the Patreon. Go ahead and check out what I do. And again, I'm a full-time conscious media creator. I've been creating conscious media for over a million years, and I've made full-length movies, and I've helped inspire a lot of people, and the support on the Patreon just helps us in continuing to inspire even more people as well. So beautiful. So we'll just hang tight just for a few moments here to make sure to confirm if Natasha is all signed up properly. Yeah, Brendan, I appreciate that. And then Natasha can decide if Natasha wants to use the Lightworker Oracle deck or the Ananda Tarot deck. It will be up to them to be able to decide. So sweet. Thanks for holding space. What time is it where you guys are? Like, it's 1 a.m. where I am, right? Like like normal people are usually sleeping right now, but hey, we're on a mission. We got things to do. So Natasha, thank you again. And just confirm for me, Natasha, if need be in the chat, if you have any questions, or literally just let us know and just be like, yep, I'm signing up. And yeah, we will keep an eye open for that. And so we're just going to hang tight just for a couple extra minutes as we wait for Natasha to be able to sign up on the Patreon. And give me 2 seconds here. I'm just looking for something here. Awesome. Yeah, it's pretty late where I am too. Cool. All right. So like I said, we're just kind of hanging tight here, waiting for Natasha to complete her sign up. And in the meantime, I am going to actually just switch gears and give myself just a little bit of a break as I get ready for the next reading. It's like, seriously, like man, doing readings, like, seriously, it's an interesting like way of like kind of like tapping into energy. And believe me, like, that's why like doing 6 readings in doing 6 broadcasts, which means I've done like over 30 readings in 3 days. That takes a very interesting degree of energy. And that's where, like, after having done that, I'm just like, yeah, like, that definitely, like, it kind of tuckered me out. So again, that's where I want to make sure that with this being the last reading, that we're just putting our focus into it as best as we can. And I still got, like, I still got energy. So, but to do 2 more readings, I don't know. To do 1 more reading, absolutely. So again, we're just holding tight for Natasha to be able to sign up. And in the meantime, what I'm actually going to do here is I am just going to switch things up. And you'll see what I'm talking about in a second here. Whoops. Don't worry, I got a bit of a surprise for you guys. Alright, sweet. Okay. So, like I said, we're just keeping an eye on things here, waiting to see if Natasha's sign up is completed. And Natasha, let me know in the chats if that's going to sign up properly. And I'm keeping an eye on the chats. And yeah, thanks Queen Blues. Yeah, no, again, I appreciate you guys like acknowledging the like the energy and the like the work that goes into like me doing these broadcasts, because again, it's not like it's just reading, it's like showing up and like putting on a show, right? Like it's literally me like be like, hey, welcome to like the Paradigm Shift Variety Hour, and doing that for like 3 hours and like talking and talking and talking. I'm surprised my voice is still here. So I'm keeping an eye on things, everyone. I'm not 100% sure if Natasha is in the process of signing up. Maybe they might be signing up later. I haven't seen a confirmation from them in the chat. They said they will sign up, but I haven't seen anything pop up yet. So if anybody else wants to sign up, and what I'm actually going to do in the meantime is like I said, just take a little bit of a break by playing some super awesome video games. So here we go. Sweet. All right, I'll keep an eye on the chat. All right, so I can still read your comments for everybody here on the chat. Okay. Sweet, awesome, aloha, and thank you everyone again so much. So what we're doing right now, we are just hanging out here and we're waiting for one more person to sign up for the Patreon. And again, I posted the link for that in the chat. And once we have one more person signed up, we'll do one more reading and we'll play it by ear. Let me just see here. Thanks, Thomas, for your awesome support. Yeah, so again, this is like, again, right, like I'm merging like mediums here, where it's like, hey, okay, welcome to like talking metaphysics with Wolf while doing video games and stuff. While just chilling out and listening to like cool hip-hop lo-fi music. Cool. And it's hard for me to read at the same time, I'll be honest. But that's okay. Alright, so let's see here. If we can get one more Patreon sign up, then we'll do one more reading. And Brendan, I appreciate your signing up. And again, I hope you don't mind me just kind of like taking a break here, holding space. And Eddie, if we don't get a reading tonight, honestly, I may just decide to go to bed. Like this may just be me just kind of being like, okay, like I'm just kind of, you know, like starting to wind down and stuff like that. And then whatever we were going to do into that extra reading, we'll just make sure that we put that forward into the next reading as well. So or we'll just end it off with that extra reading. But let me just like decompress here. So thanks again everyone for tuning in, and yeah, I appreciate your guys' support and for just like being here and for being awesome. Who else here, does anybody here play any video games? And again, for me, like video games is also like a practice of like mindfulness, you know, like for me this video game is like very much like a practice of just being able to like be present, especially with this game, because this game is like totally like a high skill, super fast game. And allow me to show off my skills in 1 second. Sweet. And again, thank you to anybody joining in on Twitch who might be joining in right now. All right, so if you're tuned in right now, let me know, and you guys can decide. You guys can tell me what to do. If I can get, okay, sweet. All right, Natasha's sign up did go through. So that means I shall pause this and we shall switch gears and we shall do that next reading. So thank you so much, Natasha, for signing up on the Patreon. And that was exactly my intention. I wasn't ready to call it quits yet. I was just taking a little bit of a break, and we'll get right into our next reading here. So Natasha, thank you so much for your support. And go ahead, Natasha, leave a comment down into the chat and let us know that you're there. Beautiful. Natasha, thank you so much. So everybody here, let's hear a round of thank yous for Natasha for signing up and for allowing us to be able to do one more reading. And again, this will be the last reading for tonight, unless someone else signs up to the Patreon. Please don't sign up. Please don't. No, seriously, you could. Like, you guys can just fuel me with Patreon supporters. Basically, again, that's how it works. It's like, tip me and I'll keep doing more. But again, we do this to be able to serve the team. All right, so Natasha, thank you again. And especially if this is your first time joining in, Natasha, thank you so much. And again, Natasha, if you didn't hear earlier, you will also be able to choose if you want to get a Light Guardian Crystal for an additional pay what you wish contribution. And again, I'll send you a direct message about that afterwards as well. And those are beautiful quartz Light Guardian crystals that I hand make. So Natasha, I want to be able to give you the option. Everybody else is like, yay, Natasha. Thank you. Thank you, team, for supporting us. And I'll update the on-screen. So Natasha, I want to be able to give you the options. Which deck would you like us to do our reading for? And again, knowing that this is a reading not just for you, but for the team. Would you like the reading from the Ananda Tarot deck, or would you like the reading from the Lightworker Oracle deck? So again, this one's Tarot, this one's an Oracle deck. They're a little bit different, and I want you to be able to choose which one you want. And I'm just going to update the on-screen info here real quick. So we are now at 122 Patreon supporters. And I'll just update the info. So Natasha, you can let us know which deck you would like us to use for what will be potentially our last reading for the broadcast. And I just updated the on-screen info so you can see here. Yeah, we're at 122. We're almost at 150. All right, let's see. Okay, so Natasha would like the tarot. Beautiful. All right, that's totally cool with me. So again, if anybody else did want to sign up for the Patreon as a bonus, then we can do the Lightworker. Or honestly, like Christina, Brendan, if you guys want me to do the Oracle one, we could still do one literally just for fun after this. Again, going back to like Brendan signing up with the intention of that like being the agreement. So, all right. So we're going to use the tarot deck here. This is the Ananda tarot deck. So thank you again, Christina. Thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. Let's get right into this. Like I said, this will probably be the last reading, but we might do one more reading from the Oracle deck afterwards. And yeah. And again, if we do have any other Patreon signups in the next few moments, then yeah, we'll just keep on going. But again, when you sign up on Patreon, you can also get a private reading as well if you prefer that. So Natasha, thank you so much for being here. I invite you to just bring yourself into your heart space. For everybody here, just drop yourself into that heart space. Take a few breaths. And again, as we do these readings, I remind us that this isn't so much like a fortune telling. This is an opportunity for us to be able to see the cards as a mirror, for us to be able to see more parts of ourselves, for us to be able to receive additional inspiration and insight. So it's a very simple but very powerful way. So again, for Natasha, I invite you to bring yourself into the intention of show me what I need to see. I'm going to charge the deck here. And again, thank you everyone so much. So many readings we have done. A lot of people are just like, yo, this was very valuable. And so thank you for acknowledging the energy that we put into creating this value. Natasha, allow yourself to be in that intention of show me what I need to see. And as you are there, take a few breaths. Just allow yourself to be in that space in your heart. And when you are ready, you're going to type the words now into the chat. And then we're going to pull this card for you. So take a few breaths here, and I'm just going to charge things up here. And so, as we dance this dance, my friends, let us continue to find new ways to express ourselves. Let us continue to find new ways to connect with the magic of that inner elf, of the higher self, of the wisdom above and below and within, of the truth and the light that has always been. As we continue to pull the cards, we continue to see mirrors for us to see these stars, the lights within our eyes, the truth that we have always been. And it is through these moments that we allow ourselves to be seen. As friends, as tribe, as community, we shall vibe and we shall bring our transformational energy up into these skies. So as we take another breath here and we wait for the now to appear within the chats, we will allow ourselves to pull one more tarot card for us to see where we are at. Now, says Natasha. There we go. All right. So, the card that we have pulled. Ooh, it's one of my favorite cards. Aww. Okay. So, charging this up here with the Light Guardian Crystal. Thank you everyone again so much for tuning in. For those of you on Instagram, go to my Instagram story, swipe up, and join us on YouTube. If anybody wants to guess what card it is real quick, go ahead. You got like 5 seconds. The card that we have pulled on behalf of Natasha for the team, for us to be able to receive the insight from this message, is Cups 2. Allow me to open up the book here. And for those of you who may not be entirely familiar, Cups 2 is very much a cup relating to emotions, relating to relationships, relating to romance. And so, allow me to get to that page in the book, and we shall read from the book, and then we shall talk about it with some additional insights as well. So thank you so much, Natasha, for your support on the Patreon, and for everybody here for adding your support. Okay, Natasha, allow yourself to just open your heart, listen to the words as I speak from the book. And for everybody here, listen, if you are here, this message is for you. The image. 2 of Cups. The image. In front of the silhouette of 2 lovers, coming closer together, 2 glasses of red wine stand in a summer landscape. Meaning, the world of duality expresses itself in great variety, by having outer forms differentiate themselves from one another. However, finding oneself in someone else means crossing over the boundaries of the material world and maintaining the connections of oneness. The illusion of separation of the ego from the whole, as is experienced in the world of duality, dissolves in the soul agreement with the beloved. I'm going to reread that part. The illusion of separation of the ego from the whole, as is experienced in the world of duality, dissolves in the soul agreement with the beloved. In the state of inner oblivion, I becomes you, and in a very natural manner is able to leave earthly limitations behind. In everyday life, this means sharing and allowing others to share in one's feelings. What started as the result of deep trust ends as a joyous and enthusiastic, life-affirming view of the world. In harmony with himself in the world, man is able to experience a deeper dimension of brotherly love, which seems to spread throughout his entire life. Inner perception, as it is experienced in one's view of the world, is reflected in our environment. Love the world, and the world loves you. I just want to take a moment here because I kind of skipped a step. Looking at the image itself, state the obvious. You could probably already see it, but we have 2 cups, both of them filled with what appears to be red wine. And for those of you on Instagram, go to my Instagram story, swipe up, or youtube.com/skullbabylon so you can see what I'm talking about. And we have the silhouette of two lovers up in this circle, up in the sky. And this beautiful landscape. And there's like two little birds kind of like flying there as well. So again, astrological significance. Moon, Venus, seventh heaven, opposition aspects. Keywords: world of feelings, ability to be in relationship, dream world, sympathy, agreement, soul connection, common interests, affection, harmony, union of opposites. Traditional meaning: love, attachment, yearning, partnership, emotional closeness, loving encounter, togetherness, charity. So, like I said, this is one of my favorite cards, and it's definitely a card that I'm sure every single person can relate to in their own unique ways. And sometimes when people get this card, they might get a little bit nervous. Some people get very excited, but you're going to see it from the lens of where your heart is currently in this moment. Maybe this card, if you received it like a couple months ago, maybe you probably feel a little bit differently from it. It really depends where you're at. But with this card, I think what's important is that don't try and see this card as just being about romance and relationships. This card, on a deeper level, on a very important perspective of how to be able to interpret it, is really about being able to practice seeing the beloved in anyone, to practice seeing the other as oneself in anyone. And so in the same way that you can kind of fall in love with another person who you feel that soul connection to, this card for you, Natasha, and for everybody here, is reminding you to practice feeling those forms of feelings for anyone in your life. Family members, people that you may work with, in some ways, even people who you are not truly even like friends with, but to be able to see it from a deep level of empathy and a deep level of sympathy with the intention of being able to dissolve the boundaries, to dissolve the illusions. And so with this card, again, it says the illusion of separation of the ego from the whole, as is experienced in the world of duality, dissolves in the soul agreement with the beloved. So this card, the very, very powerful thing about this card is acknowledging, again, for Natasha, for everybody, our ability to practice seeing the beloved in all things, in all people, in all beings. Do not limit yourself to simply seeing the beloved in someone who you feel physically attracted to or emotionally attracted to. Practice seeing it from that bodhisattva perspective, that Buddha mind, where you can literally understand that you are all there is, that all is mind, that it is all you. And when you see this, you can understand that in the same way you can fall in love with a lover, you can fall in love with life. You can fall in love with all beings. You can fall in love, even again, like with things that, like, again, I use the word love in a very kind of like open sense. But in the same way, I think of this card as, again, any circumstance that relates to the concept in which illusions of separation begin to dissolve through the heart-opening experience of being able to see ourselves in the other. One of the things that I think this card kind of speaks to in a very powerful way. Maddie, I'm seeing your comments on the Instagram. If you want to join on YouTube, go to my Instagram story and swipe up there. There's more people in the YouTube chat and you'll get the other angle. But this card, I see it as being also something. For me, I think of this card as like that big paradigm shift that I'm sure we've all experienced when we look into the eyes of an animal and we see ourselves looking back. We look into the eyes and suddenly it's not just this thing that's separate, but we actually see soul, we see essence, we see love. And so in the same way, again, this is about being able to really feel the feels and to really be able to feel those feels as a very beautiful thing, as a very important thing that is guiding us back to the wisdom of our heart and the ability for us to be able to be in relationship, in healthy relationship with many things, not just striving for the romantic relationship, not just striving for the physical relationship, but to really reflect on our relationship with many things, even on our relationship with ourselves. And I think that is like why this card is important, because it reminds us that as much as we seek the beloved externally, we have to also be able to acknowledge the beloved internally. We have to practice, keyword practice, treating ourselves as the beloved, treating ourselves in the same way we would treat a partner. Take care of ourselves. Take yourself out on dates. Enjoy your own company. Have time talking to yourself. Have time listening to yourself. Listen to what you need. These are very, very simple, but very, very important things. So again, in doing so, we expand our ability to be able to have affection for all beings. And so it is often through the romantic relationships that serve as a catalyst for us to be able to know what type of love is possible for us. But in doing so, it's not just saying like, oh, this is love that's specific to romantic love, but more so, this is what happens when you open your heart. This is what happens when you begin to see things through the eyes of love, through the eyes that see beyond the illusion, through the eyes that see things in a new form of partnership. And so again, this card has a lot to do with being able to like open up into new forms of clarity, into new forms of joy, into new forms of inspiration, and also of service, of being able to acknowledge the you that is in others. What started as a result of deep trust ends as a joyous, enthusiastic, life-affirming view of the world. I couldn't agree more. That idea that when you start to see others as yourself, and you start to treat them as you would treat yourself, you start to treat other people as the beloved, that opens you up into a joyous and enthusiastic, life-affirming view of the world. And you start changing other people's lives. So for Natasha, I think this card, for you to be able to have this card, is a very powerful card for you to be able to reflect on your ability to show up as a very loving person in a way that changes people's lives by helping them not only feel love, but to experience the love that you have to offer in a variety of ways, in a platonic way, in a community way, in a romantic way, that's going to allow them to be open to being able to experience themselves more fully, more wholly, and to allow them to be able to open up their hearts so that they can continue to share their love with others as well. And it creates this ripple effect. As we learn how to love, we teach others how to open their hearts so that they too can love, so that they can teach others how to love. And that's the thing, like this world has made many people very like cold and distant from their own heart. And we as shifters, as light guardians, as light workers, as anybody tuned into this broadcast, it is our duty, it is our responsibility to be ambassadors of love, to be ambassadors of this perspective, to be ambassadors of being able to teach others what it means to love. Not just in a romantic way, not just in the superficial Hollywood way where we think love is like this thing where it's like it has to look a certain way, but love shows up in many forms. Love shows up in setting boundaries. Love shows up in being able to give people space. Deep, deep love. I'll say this, I've said this before, but deep, deep love is when you want the best for the other person, whether or not it even involves you. You want them to be able to follow what is best for them. You want them to be able to go on their journey, to do what makes their heart sing. And your job is to hold space for that. Your job is to hold them up to that. The most powerful relationships are the relationships where both people feel liberated, where both people feel free. And how do we create that? We create that by honoring the unique individual soul that each person is, and not trying to make them into something that we want them to be with conditions, but rather honoring the journey where they're at and supporting it, even knowing that that relationship that you have, that agreement, it may not be forever, and that's okay. Honestly, I think if humans kind of like went into relationships almost with an understanding that they kind of have a quote unquote expiry date, or more so like a contract, then it would allow them to be able to appreciate the relationship even more. Like what if you were to go into a relationship and you knew well ahead of time that you were just like, okay, this relationship, it's going to last 4 months. How would that change? How would that allow you to show up? How would that actually almost kind of like release you from this pressure of trying to make it into something it doesn't need to be, and simply appreciating it for what it is? And so again, this is a very powerful card to remind us to appreciate the relationships that we already have in our life. Maybe ones that we take for granted, maybe ones that we kind of overlook. What are relationships that we can nurture? And relationships, again, relationships are not just romantic relationships. This is about all relationships. World of feeling, ability to be in relationship, dream world. I like how it talks about dream world in this as well. Sympathy, agreement, soul connection, common interest, affection, harmony, union of opposites. If you are in a situation with someone where you are engaging with them in any form of relationship, then that means there is some sort of soul connection. That means that there's some sort of lesson, there's some sort of purpose that you are both on, that you are both in agreement to as to why you are in each other's reality. And so when you honor that, you can actually start looking for it. You can actually start reflecting and being like, why is this person in my life? And sometimes it may be obvious. And again, sometimes the relationships may not always feel good, or maybe they'll kind of go a certain way. But again, even if a relationship kind of goes a certain way, and it might not have been what you hoped for, it still gives you what you need. And being able to be like, okay, that relationship taught me a lot about my own self-worth. It helped get me more clarity on what I value. Oh, what's that? That last relationship where my partner wasn't really communicating properly? Yeah, that taught me even more so that I value clear communication in my relationships. And I'm going to bring that into my next relationship and make sure that's like something that I focus on, and something that like both people are in agreement with as well. So again, the relationships give us what we need when we honor the fact that there is a soul connection, and we honor the idea that there is a soul agreement there. And so can we honor the relationships, both the relationships that feel like super nurturing and super fulfilling, and then even the relationships that maybe kind of have their own challenges, but also teach us valuable lessons, and being able to understand. And this is such a powerful thing, and we'll get close to just kind of like wrapping up on this card. And Natasha, let us know how this resonates for you. Being able to understand that we, very simply put, but yet very profoundly, we are mirrors for each other's growth. We have people that show up into our lives for us to be able to see more of who we are, to see how we show up, to see our ability to flex our heart muscles, to practice having more empathy, to practice having sympathy, and to also, first and foremost, practice loving ourselves in healthy ways, and being able to say no, and being able to set boundaries, and being able to say yes to what is best for you, and really, really owning that. So again, as much as this is about seeing the beloved in others, it's also about being able to honor the beloved in yourself and really connecting with that. So again, I see this card as an invitation to really practice like, how can I love myself even deeper? How can I treat myself like my own beloved? How can I like give myself more of what I need? Maybe you haven't even asked yourself recently, what do I need? And I'm not just saying you, Natasha, I'm saying this to anybody. And give yourself that permission to ask yourself, what do I need? What do I need? You know, and when you ask yourself that and listen to your heart, it speaks to you. And you need to ask yourself that in the same way you'd be asking someone sitting across, like who you're sitting in front of. You're just like, what do you need? How can I help you? And when you ask yourself that, there's a part of you that will speak. There's a heart within you, a wisdom within your heart that will tell you what it needs. And we can get good at listening. So in the same way we can practice showing up, listening to others in other relationships, we can also learn. We can also learn how to get good at practicing holding space for ourselves, at practice listening to ourselves. So absolutely. And again, that's the thing. When we practice loving ourselves, we raise our vibration and we align ourselves with more of those relationships that are really going to be that synergy, opposed to something that might kind of be there in a way that doesn't fully serve us. And you can tell it's not fully matching. And that's the thing, like for anybody here, and I say this from my own experience, that next relationship that you're looking for, it's not the good one. The good relationship that you're looking for, that you deserve, first of all, acknowledge that you deserve it. You earn it. You are worthy of it. It comes to you as you continue to practice loving yourself. It doesn't come when you go out and chase it. It's not going to be something that you're going to just find at the bar. Not to say it wouldn't. I mean, there's a circumstance for everything. Like, hey, sometimes great things happen when you go out for a night with the girls and then they introduce you to a friend of a friend, and that actually turns out to be a great thing. But usually it's like a synchronistic thing. But usually that in itself will just kind of happen without you having to look for it. And that's what you want. You want to look for the relationship that you don't want to have to look for. You want the relationship that will come to you. And you also want to be able to practice being able to use discernment to say no. Because, right, like it doesn't have to be the first thing that comes to you. You want to be able to say, like, like, what are my standards? What are my values? And again, that's not to say, hey, sorry, buddy, but you're not quite you're not good enough. You don't like match my criteria. But it's just like, no, like, I love myself enough to know that it's okay for me to say no, because that thing that's better for me will show up by me being able to say no. And sometimes those other things show up to test us. Sometimes the universe will be like, oh, we're going to put this really cool guy. He's kind of handsome and he might be a good fit for you, but he's probably not the best fit for you. And maybe he's kind of similar to a past boyfriend that you've had. And maybe your kind of like your physical like connection might just want to be that ability to just be like, yes, it's in front of me. Why wouldn't I do it? It will be fun type thing. But give yourself the gift, give yourself the option to know that there is love, that it is an act of love for yourself to be able to practice saying no. If you feel it's like an honest thing for you to be able to do, in doing so, you actually create the space for that next relationship to actually show up sooner rather than later. So what I was saying is that those ones that might not be a total match, if those show up and they're testing you, that's the universe checking in and just being like, oh, do you want the same old? Do you want that same relationship that you already had? Do you want another one? Because we're going to put it in front of you and we're going to offer it to you, but we're offering it to you as a test. And whether you say yes or no is neither wrong nor right, because both experiences will be meaningful. But if you do say yes, and then suddenly you go through the exact same experience that you went through previously, and again, I'm not just speaking to Natasha, I'm just speaking to anybody, and you go through the exact same experience, then you're kind of going through a lesson more times than you need to. So have you learned the lesson? What lessons have you learned? And that's an important thing, is to look back on our relationships and to see how they have helped us become more clear on what we value in relationships, so that we can continue to meet that guy who totally is the guy, the girl, the partner who is there to hold us up to our highest self in the same way we hold them up to our highest self. That deep love of service. And when you practice loving yourself that way, and when you practice loving others that way, you will find someone who is ready to love you that way. And by you being patient, and by you just continuing to like be in that place where it's not so much lack, but it's actually excitement, knowing that it is out there. So like Natasha, I kind of said this earlier in the broadcast, I want you to know that that guy, that next relationship, if you're looking for that next relationship, it is there. It is already there. It is there for you. And all you have to do in order for it to be able to come to you sooner rather than later is to know that and to just focus on loving yourself. So like, what if I were to literally tell you in 2 months from now, that next relationship that's going to be like a very important relationship for you, it's there in 2 months from now. All you have to do, and this is good news, is to spend those next 2 months focusing on the other things that you need to, getting other aspects of your life more aligned, more in service to yourself, and then being able to show up for that next relationship in a way where you're just like, I am ready for this and I feel good about it. That's when you'll know. That's when you'll know that it's right, because there will be this heart feeling, this deep emotional feeling where you'll be like, yes, this feels good. And so again, reading Natasha's comment, she says here on Facebook, this card was totally for me. I need to practice loving myself deeper. I give love to others all the time, but not enough to myself. And then she also says, right, I did this and I met a guy who met all my standards and uplifts me. Beautiful, beautiful, Natasha. Absolutely. And again, that's beautiful. And so again, by you living that story, you create the example that allows that story to be seen by others and allows others to know that that's something that they can experience as well. It creates like an example to be like, whoa, like that relationship that Natasha's got with that person, like that's awesome. And that inspires me to know that that type of love is real. And it inspires me to be able to learn. And so, Natasha, as you become more deeply connected with this relationship that you're working on right now, use that as a way for you to continue to like level up in the wisdom of what it means to be in a healthy relationship. One with clear communication, one where you're checking in with yourself, one where you're asking questions, one where you're giving without expecting to receive, one where you're creating space to be able to support people in the best way possible, one that's liberating, one where the partners can just be like, hey, I just need to like, like do some time for myself. And they're just like, I totally honor that. And I want you to do that. Like, that's a powerful relationship. When the partner can just be like, hey, like, I just need to do something by myself, or I just need to spend time with the girlfriends. And the other partner is just like, sweet, awesome. Like, that's what I want for you. I want you to do what you feel you need. And I respect you and I trust you and I hold space for you. And I only want you to continue to grow. And I want you to feel that freedom. And I want you to feel that liberation. That's something for me. Like, that's what I really value in relationships that I look for as well, is that ability for the relationship to feel liberating, to really feel liberating, and for both people to be there in a way that's holding each other up to the highest growth, to just their continued expansion, to light the flame. Again, that's where you kind of get into the idea of twin flames without getting into like the whole concept of twin flames. Very simply put, twin flame can just be thought of as this idea of like two people helping ignite the flame from within, So when you show up with that intention, that's very powerful. So again, just kind of wrapping up on this card here. Again, what started as a result of deep trust ends in a joyous and enthusiastic, life-affirming view of the world. In harmony with himself and the world, man is able to experience a deeper dimension of brotherly love, which seems to spread throughout his entire life. Inner perception, as it is experienced in one's view of the world, is reflected in one's own environment. Love the world, and the world loves you. So, Natasha, as you continue to love others, let it be a reflection of the love that you have for yourself. Let you be inspired to learn how to love yourself even more with the support of the love of others. Practice loving other people in your community, in your family, in your tribe, in new ways, maybe ways that you haven't even done before. And notice that in itself will just continue to just like bring even more beauty, more excitement into your life, and for you to be able to receive all the things that you truly are worthy of. So, Natasha, thank you again for being here, for holding space for us to be able to receive this card. And for anybody else who was tuned into this broadcast, let us know how that resonated with you, if you felt that there's like information from that. And yeah, high five to Natasha. Shimane, thank you so much for giving the high fives to Natasha there. So, and congratulations to everybody. Again, congratulations to everybody who is in that awesome relationship that they value, and congratulations to anybody who is in the relationship with themselves, because that's the most important relationship. And I'll say this again, this is the important thing. I'll say this because this comes from my own experience, and this was the most powerful piece of wisdom. One of the most powerful pieces of wisdom that was given to me is this simple idea: every relationship prepares us for the next one. And so whatever relationship you're in now, Natasha, absolutely, I see relationships as being like a dance. And again, you agree to dance with a person, but eventually, if it comes to a point where like your stories go in opposite directions and the vibrations shift, that in itself, it's not so much a break up, it's a breakthrough. And that means that you two are ready for that next chapter of your journey. So what happens when two people show up into a journey and neither of them is holding on, neither of them is attaching themselves to this relationship, but they're holding it like a flower? Again, like it's like the relationship is this beautiful flower. And if you try and hold on to the relationship, what happens? You crush the flower. You kind of destroy it. So you just want to hold it gently within your palm. And then when the time comes where the wind blows and it blows the flower out of your hand, you know that flower is going to go where it needs to, and it's going to like plant itself and spread seeds and things like that. But my point is, even though it may be kind of a hard idea for us to think, and it's not that it needs to be something to dwell on, we just need to also be able to understand that it's important for us to be able to show up in a relationship with the understanding of acknowledging that this relationship is serving both people to be able to help them on their path in whatever way it's meant to. And whether that mean that your relationship with this person, maybe it's going to last for years, maybe it will last for months, maybe it will last for lifetimes. You don't really know. But if you can show up in a way where either way you have gratitude and you're just like, wherever this goes, I am grateful for simply being in this experience, and I trust and I honor whatever unfolds from it, knowing that it is for our highest growth. And so again, because sometimes it's when we try to hold on to that relationship that actually suffocates it. I'm sure we've all seen that before. You know, people, they feel like someone else is trying to, like, they're so desperately holding on. And what usually happens there, usually the other partner will start to distance themselves. They'll be like, yo, this is too much, or this isn't what I want. Like, I need that liberation. It's not to say, so it's that balance between like holding space for that liberation, but still holding on to the shared intention. So there could be some very important conversations where you really just deeply acknowledge the person you're with, Natasha, and just be like, hey, I want both of us to understand that, like, we as souls came into this agreement to be able to serve each other. And whatever comes out of this, I am grateful for it. And again, however long we decide to dance for is however long we decide to dance for. And if this is a relationship that prepares us for the next one, I honor that too. If this is a relationship that we're together for the rest of our life, I honor that too. And I'm grateful for it. And when you kind of like let go of that expectation and just be grateful for as it is now, it allows you to experience this love in the present moment in a much more like liberating, beautiful way. And it really kind of like releases things for you to be able to experience a deeper sense of love, a deeper sense of trust, a deeper sense of knowing, a deeper sense of connection. And it allows both people to show up in a very, very deep, passionate way. When both people are in this place where they're just like, yes, we are both agreeing to dance this dance for however long it goes, it really allows both people to just be way more present, way more just attentive, way more engaged, and just a deeper level of romance and magic that is like so special. So learn to love in a way that is literally uplifting. You're holding it. You're holding that flower. Don't crush that flower. You may find at times you're kind of like, you feel like you want to crush it, but you don't want to crush it. So if you feel yourself kind of like grabbing onto things, then that usually just means that there's a conversation there, an important conversation where you can check in with that person and just see where they're both at, you know, and bring in that clear communication and be flexible and be open. That's an important thing with any relationship, clear communication. And again, just honoring the path that both people are on. So Natasha, and for anybody else, I'm starting to lose my voice. You can tell we've been doing this for a while. Natasha and anybody else, go ahead, leave some comments down below. Drop an 1111 if this resonated with you. And yeah, let me know how this resonates for anybody. Let me know how this resonates, or any other comments that you want to share, and I'll read them on air. Any comments that you want to just share about like how, like any other like insights related to like romance and anything like that you want to share. Awesome. Excuse me. Thank you again, everyone, so much for joining in. Again, I'm glad we got to do that reading there. And again, yeah, I think that's going to be the last reading for tonight, unless we get one more person signed up for the Patreon, and then I can theoretically do one more reading. And again, I thank so much everyone for being here. It's getting late, like it's almost 2 a.m. as well. And and yeah, Natasha, if you have any comments in the chat, please feel free to leave those. And for anybody else, thank you so much. If you're tuning into this on Facebook, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube. That way so you can get notifications about future broadcasts as well. So I'm just going to take a moment here. So yeah, for everybody else here, how did that card resonate with you? Was there some stuff that I talked about that I was able to bring through that, you know, where you're just like, yeah, okay, those are important reminders? Because again, that's my intention. So, Natasha says, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Awesome. Thank you, Natasha. And thank you as well for your support on the Patreon. So, if anybody else is, again, just resonating with that card that we just read, please feel free to drop an 1111 in the chats. And if you are just here, if you're just tuned in, go ahead and drop a 222 in the chat and just let me know that you are still tuned in. I'm not sure how many people we have tuned in live right now. Don't think it's probably not too many, but that's okay. Oh, cool. Awesome. Just got a message from my buddy. He was at Resonance Festival. Didn't even realize that. All right, so yeah, it looks like we got one person tuned in on Facebook, and we got 6 people tuned in on YouTube. And I don't think Brendan is still here. There's another Brendan. Is next lifetime still here? So again, thank you so much everyone for being here. Natasha, if you're still here, please feel free to leave a comment down below. And again, this will be our last reading for tonight. However, if we do have any other people signed up for the Patreon, I can still do one more reading. Junior Ice, not pronouncing your name right probably. We don't necessarily answer questions directly from the chat, but we do invite people to be open to receiving insight from the general readings that we do for the individuals and as the community as well. So if you're interested in getting a reading, they are available for people who sign up on the Patreon. And again, that's literally just the format that we do. So like, I don't answer particular questions from the chat in terms of like answering them with tarot readings. So I don't do like readings that are like fortune tellings. I just do readings that are kind of like, you know, divine reflections with additional insight and inspiration. That's how we do the readings here. And again, and that's like also because like I don't want to be able to like try and give people fortune advice. I don't even feel that's very fair, because I don't consider myself to be a psychic in that sense. So anything that I say, again, take it with a grain of salt. This is purely just for like entertainment and yeah, general inspiration and insight as well. And whatever I say, again, you know, it's merely just ideas for you to be able to play with, and ultimately you are responsible for what you do with the information that I share with you. But yeah, I'm not like giving people life advice in that sense. So yeah, definitely ready to wrap this up. So I'm just gonna all right, I'm just gonna switch things over here. I'm just gonna do a little bit of Race the Sun just for another minute here, just as we wrap things up. Yeah, but that was a good broadcast. Yeah, we got 3 people signed up for the Patreon at we got $3 levels. Again, if anybody wants to sign up for the Patreon and do it later, that's totally cool. Or if anybody wants to update their pledge before the end of October, that's totally cool too. So anybody here who's still tuned in and who's a Patreon supporter, you're welcome to do that. And again, that is always equally appreciated. And yeah, we're currently at 122 Patreon supporters. So bit by bits, we are getting there. And again, that support just allows me to like do even more awesome things for the community as well. Yeah, I don't think Next Lifetime is online anymore right now. I think it's literally just us. Christina, it's probably like just you in the chat right now. I'm like half joking, but I don't think I haven't heard from anybody else yet. So all right. Sweet. Awesome. Well, I definitely had a good time tonight. So thank you again, everyone, for joining in. And I'm just going to play a little bit of some Race the Sun. And yeah, and then I'll wrap it up in the next minute. Yeah, it is. What time is it? 2 a.m.? Yeah, it's almost 2 a.m. So that means it's time to go to bed. Yeah, if anybody else is tuned in, go ahead and just drop some comments in the chat. But I'm going to wrap up this broadcast in the next minute. So please don't sign up for the Patreon today, right now. Sign up later. Christina, thanks again for tuning in. Appreciate you hanging out here. Bonus points for probably being like the last person tuned in. Oh no, the sun's setting. Oh, there we go. Hey, Rise Above and Beyond. Thanks for still being here. Must be a little bit of a delay on some people's chats. Oh no. Ran out of sunlight. Yeah, very interesting game. So just checking, is anybody else here still interested in reading? Like, is anybody here like looking to be able to get a reading possibly? Just double checking. Because theoretically, I could still do one more reading. I'm a beast like that. Got like unlimited energy. But yeah, I'm just gonna play this just for a few more minutes and wind down. And thank you again, everyone, for joining. And yeah, definitely check out the Patreon when you can. We got some awesome opportunities and deals there. Need the sleeps. Yeah, don't stay up too late, everyone. You need some sleeps too. Gotta get ready for our big broadcast tomorrow night, talking about the global climate crisis. A lot of interesting things to talk about there, that's for sure. Yes, I am heading to sleep very shortly. So thank you again, everyone. Thanks for thanks for looking out for me. Just like, yes, you have done well, Brendan. You have brought forth messages from the eternal source consciousness, and now you can go to sleep. Yay! Oh, did we figure out who got the shifter booster kit? Did that happen? I didn't check my messages lately. Let's find out. Is anybody still on the Facebook? Abid, you're still here? Dude. First of all, thanks. Second of all, man, that's some dedication there. Oh man. Sweet. Yeah, Morphic, I'm glad you're able to join in. Appreciate it. FYI, that shifter booster kit is still up for grabs. If those of you were here, you remember the instructions. So, just letting you know. There we go. Oh, sweet. Yeah, Brendan added me on Instagram, so I just followed him there. All right. Yeah, like I said, if you're looking for another reading, you can always sign up on the Patreon for a private reading. But this is my last life here in the video game. This is my last life. Okay, next one. Death, inevitable, yet unexpected. So again, if anybody wants to sign up for the Patreon, if anybody signs up for $22 on the Patreon right now, you will also get access to my exclusive lewd photo shoot set. Is he joking? No, I am. But I honestly thought about that once. I was like, like what should be a higher tier of reward? I'm like, like should I do like one of those like interesting like black and white erotica spiritual photo sets I'm like, would people pay for that? And the answer is yes. Yes, they probably would. And the real question is, would I do it? Maybe. Maybe I would. So if you'd pay for that, if you'd sign up for $22 for that, let me know, because if so, I can do that for you. Exclusive offer, only because it's super late. Awesome. Dude, Avid, man. Blast from the past. Sushi. Yeah, sushi. Okay, I'll do it if someone signs up for it. Someone sign up for the $22 level to be able to get access to my lewd photo set. It's tasteful, right? Like I'm talking like classy stuff here. Like I'm not talking like anything that I wouldn't do that wouldn't be like empowering for myself, right? Like it's my body, right? So but yeah, Sushi, go ahead, sign up for the Patreon, and that's the thing. Another thing that I thought about doing, like obviously I'm just like tired right now and I'm kind of drunk. I'm not drunk, I'm just tired, which basically means I'm drunk. I also had this other idea, and I'm just asking for feedback for people here. So this was my idea. I was thinking of creating like a private Snapchat, and then I wanted to create like a Snapchat that would be like one that people can't reply to. I don't even know if you, I think you can do that on Snapchat. I don't know. I haven't really used Snapchat. And then I wanted to create like almost like a simulated boyfriend experience or something like that. Like imagine if I like just kind of like created like a Snapchat and it would like automatically send people messages. And it would just be like, hey, babe, like, wishing you an awesome day. I believe in you. Keep spreading your wings. And then it would just be, like, these, like, automated posts of, like, me, like, sending what appears to be, like, it would be, like, poetry or just, like, inspirational messages and cute pictures with filters that I would send. Again, not just to, like, one person, but to the Snapchat or something. And then, like, people who sign up for this would get this, like, kind of, like, ongoing feed of the simulated Brendan boyfriend experience or something like that, and that would be like a high tier Patreon thing. Would anybody sign up for that? Does anybody want that? You let me know, because again, I feel like some people are just like be like, actually yeah, like I would pay money for that, and it would be for like inspirational and stuff like that. But the key thing is like you wouldn't be able to reply to the messages. That's the thing. So but I'm just like, again, that comes from me brainstorming. I'm like, okay, like what can I do to be able to create more support for the Patreon other than lewd photo sets and simulated boyfriend Snapchat experience. So is he joking? I don't know. Someone sign up for the Patreon and I'll prove it. I'll prove whether or not I'm joking. So yeah, I know, right? Ridiculous idea. So anyways, we'll be wrapping up the broadcast in a few minutes unless someone signs up for $22 on the Patreon. And yeah, and then we'll go from there. Pew, 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 pew. So, Sushi, let me know if you're interested in signing up on the Patreon. Or you let me know. Anybody here, let me know. Like, what would you want? What would be worth $20 a month for you? And you let me know, and I'll make it happen. That's setting myself up for trouble. All right, do we actually have people tuned in right now? How many people do we got? We have, I think Abid is the only person on Facebook right now, and there's only 4 people on YouTube. So yeah, this is what happens when you guys get to tune in late. You get like the drunk Brendan experience. Alright. Yo, Alex, I am playing a game called Race the Sun. If you swipe up on my Instagram story, you can see me playing. So again, whenever you see me on Instagram, like this is always the secondary camera angle. This is not like the actual camera angle. So be sure to swipe up. But I'm almost done. Like we're almost at the end of the broadcast. I'm just like chilling out here for a little bit. Talking about plans to take over the world. So yes, give us your essence. That reminds me, I have to get to sleep soon. Alright, last run of the game. If anyone else wants to update their Patreon amount or sign up, let me know real quick. Abid, what would I need to do in order to be able to convince you to sign up for the Patreon at any amount? Like, I am legitimately asking you, Abid, my old-time colleague and friend from back in the days when I started the Paradigm Shift Central project in college, and we had free punch and pie at our meetups. And people would just, like, show up stoned. Awesome. Yeah, Morphic. Yeah, you see what you got it. Yeah, honestly, like, just imagine like having like a simulated Ryan Gosling meme speak to you every morning. That would essentially be what I would be creating for people. Just like unlimited Ryan Gosling style content. Honestly, I think people would be like, "Yo, I want that." Like, I would actually pay for that, especially if it was exclusive. All right, hold on. Did Abid leave a comment here? Abid, you're here. Okay. Yeah, Abid says the Snapchat boyfriend sounds convincing. See, Abid? I knew that would be a good idea. Abid, do it. Sign up for the Patreon, Abid. You'll be the first person who I put on the list for the private Snapchat experience. And it would be with the intention of inspiring people, too. But yeah, Abid, if you want to sign up for the Patreon, go ahead. It only takes 3 minutes. And if you do it, I shall be forever in your service in this life and the next. Whatever works for you, dude. I just appreciate everyone being here. So I'm just gonna spam the link one more time. Any last signups? Again, you can get this super awesome Light Guardian crystal. Check out this blue one. This one's lit. That's what kids say these days. They're like, "Yo, that's lit." Yo, Alex, thanks for joining in, man. Late nights drunk gaming with Brendan. Meow, meow, meow. All right. Is anybody signing up for the Patreon right now? Do you guys want to support the stuff that I do with the things? I like do things and it's like it's cool, right? And then like people get inspired and stuff. So thanks, team. Oh, god dang it, Bobby. Oh, it's my Hank Hill impersonation. Oh, let's go shift those paradigms, Bobby. Oh, that is not a good impersonation. What other voices can I do? Ho ho, hey kids, ready to go help change the world? Ho ho. What else can I do? It's like the SpongeBob laugh, kind of. It's not that good. What are the other voices I can do? I forget. Yeah, again, I can do like the Skeksis from Dark Crystal. Yes. Give us your essence. Alright, I'm going to bed in a minute. Pew, 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 pew. Do a barrel roll. Oh yeah, that's Pepe. Pepe from... What game is Pepe from? Pop quiz for all you spiritual nerds out there. Spiritual nerd. Hashtag spirit nerd. That's essentially like the niche that I work towards, right? It's like combining like nerd stuff with spiritual motivation. AKA making Zelda memes. That's essentially what I do. Alex, if you haven't seen the Dark Crystal, then that's probably why it didn't make sense to you. Morphic, twerk in the name of the collective. Update your Patreon pledge and you got yourself a deal. Pew, 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 pew. Some people say I'm selling out. I just say I'm committed to the cause. Pew, pew, pew. Seriously, if it was like, yo, Brendan, I'll pay you $5 a month if you twerk. And I'll just be like, well, it's gonna help me inspire more people, so I'm down. Alright, I'm going to bed in a minute. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for tuning in. Sending you lots of love. And yeah, good job, team. Good broadcast tonight. I think we went for 4 hours. Good God. Jesus. Not doing that again. Well, actually, yeah, I will. But we did reach, we did get 3 Patreon signups tonight, so that's good. And again, we'll follow up with some more broadcasts in the future. And if anybody else wants to sign up at any point, let us know. Abid, if you want me to send you the link for the simulated boyfriend experience, let me know. You can be like the beta tester on that. Ashley. Like I said, I'm open to ideas. You guys just pay me in Patreon and you can pretty much just like make me dance. That reminds me, I need to like, I should no, I shouldn't say that actually. Never mind. Who else is tuned in right now? Not too many people. Thank goodness. Do Boomhauer. Can I do Boomhauer? I don't know. Boomhauer is like the one where he's just like, it's like, how's he, like, what does he even sound like? He just kind of mumbles and stuff, right? He's just like, my name is Boomhauer and the government's putting fluoride in your water and goddamn aliens, man. You gotta get them aliens, man. I've been abducted by aliens and they show me the secrets of the universe, man. Is that Boomhauer? Is that what he sounds like? I haven't watched King of the Hill in a long time. I gotta I gotta bone up on that. All I can do is just the Hank Hill. I sell propane and propane accessories. God dang it, Bobby. Ooh. That's all I can do, right? Like I can't even do more lines. It's just God dang it, Bobby. And then the ooh. Cuz that's seriously the sound that he made. Do Bobby? I don't think Bobby doesn't really have like what is he? It's not really like totally an accent though. Like what does Bobby even talk about? Just like my name's Bobby. My name's Bobby Hill. Is that what he sounds like? Like I said, it's been a while. All right, so we're just hanging out here. We're waiting for Abid to sign up for the Patreon, and once Abid signs up for the Patreon, I'm gonna go to sleep. So Abid, thank you so much for keeping me up late, and like I said, I'll be up all night until one more person signs up for the Patreon. Please help. Please let me sleep. Please help me. No, it's cool. I'll go to bed soon. But hey, if Abid signs up, man, it's like Abid, man. Like if you want that simulated Ryan Gosling birthday boyfriend experience, I don't even, like I said, I'm drunk. If you want that Ryan Gosling boyfriend experience, Snapchat, private, Instagram, thingamajig, then go ahead and sign up. So thank you again, everyone, so much for joining this marathon broadcast. Yeah, I should just do like more guided meditations, like as Hank Hill, which is actually probably hard. Take a deep breath. Ooh, it's just that noise every sentence. And then reflect on your environment. Ooh. Can you feel your chakras tingling? Ooh. Makes it so stupid. Will people sign up for the Patreon for that? I don't know, guys. You tell me. Alright, so like I said, I will go to bed once someone signs up for the Patreon. So, yep. Just holding myself hostage here. No big deal. Just leveraging my own well-being in order to be able to raise funds for the team. Totally no big deal. I wonder how much that would like actually work. It's like sign up, like pay me money to stop the broadcast, right? Like Does that make sense? Help me. Help me sleep. I don't want to be playing this game anymore. But yeah, seriously, I'm gonna go to bed really soon. Abbott, are you still online? Are you still watching this? Again, Abbott, I'm just waiting patiently. Even if anybody wants to update their Patreon pledge, Morphic, you could update your Patreon pledge by like 30 cents if you want. Just for novelty. No, you don't have to. You could, but you don't have to. Okay. Oh, what did Abid say? Alright, Abid. Once you sign up for that Patreon, you're gonna get that. I'm gonna make it just for you. You're gonna be the only person who gets it. Obviously. No. I mentioned that to my like low-key girlfriend, and she's like, don't do that. Don't do the simulated Ryan Gosling boyfriend experience, because I'm gonna get jealous if you do. And I'm like, oh, that's cute. So use the force, Luke. Alright, you guys decide. Should I go to sleep or should I stay up for the next 5 hours? There's only 2 options. If you want me to go to sleep, type 1. If you want me to stay up for 5 million hours, type 2. If you want Abid to sign up for the Patreon, type 3. Nah, Abid's given me plenty of love over the years. Oh my god, he actually did it. Abid signed up for the Patreon. Oh shit, that means I have to actually do it now. Well, Abid, looks like I don't even know what to say. Alright, Abid, stand by. I'm gonna create something special for you. And you're gonna get it tomorrow. And like I said, that's like the beta test. So thanks, Abid, for signing up to the Patreon. Dude, you're the best, man. Seriously. And Abid, let me know if you still want like any of the other stuff too. But dude, I appreciate it, man. I'm glad to know that I'm worth slightly. I'm glad to know that I'm worth the price of a cup of coffee to you. That means a lot. No, seriously, like the fact that I mean to you as much as you value coffee, dude, that's huge, because some people fucking love coffee, man. And so for me to be up there on that same shelf as coffee, yo, dude, like that's, man, like I could not be more proud. So thank you, Abid. That's awesome. Seriously, Abid, you're the best, man. I love you. If there's anything you need, just let me know. I am forever in your service. Yeah. Now tell me to do more sound effects. What other voices do you want me to do? Alright, so like I said, we're gonna stay up all night long until we get at least 5 new Patreon supporters. And yeah, and that's basically, I'm just gonna stay up until the end of October, getting as many Patreon supporters as we can. And then once we do that, then yeah, and then we'll just kind of go probably like sleep for a week, and then we'll come back and then we'll create some awesome content for the team. So for those of you tuning in, yo, Oliver, welcome to our late night marathon session. We're just playing some video games now because we already did some awesome tarot readings, and I'm staying up to be able to awesome, thanks, Habit. So I'll go to sleep once one more person signs up for the Patreon. So I'm basically just holding myself hostage, and you guys in the meantime get to tell me what sound effects you want me to make and also what impersonations you want me to do. So awesome. Sweet, Oliver. So if anybody here wants to sign up for the Patreon, again, if you sign up for the Patreon for tonight, one night only, you will get the exclusive Ryan Gosling boyfriend private Snapchat experience. That's for one night only for anybody signing up. So, is he joking? Maybe. I don't know. Sign up to the Patreon and find out. But no, I'll be going to bed soon enough. But if we do have any other Patreon signups in the next little bit, then yeah, that's totally awesome. And I do want to do like I've been trying to decide what I want to do is like a 22 option on the Patreon. The 33 option is a monthly shifter booster kit, which is pretty freaking dope. But for the $22 option, again, I want you guys to tell me, what should I do for the $22 option? What should I offer with that? Like, obviously it can be like more discounts for the shop, but I haven't really figured it out because like I want to make sure that it's like something that's like a value and stuff too. All right, aloha to those of you who happen to be tuning in on Instagram. Welcome to the Shift Show. I feel like that should be like, like after we do the initial readings, like it slowly just segues, and it's like now it's just the Shift Show, aka the shit show. Is that kind of the joke there? It's half joke. So awesome. All right, I'm gonna update the info on screen here. I'm so grateful that not a lot of people are tuned in right now. How many people do we have? We have, I think Abid says I do love coffee, so thanks Abid. Yeah, Abid's the only one watching right now. And how many people do we have? We have 5 people watching on YouTube. There are 5 people watching me embarrass myself on YouTube. How does that feel, Brendan? How does that feel? Honestly, I feel pretty freaking privileged. It warms my heart to know that I mean that much to you. That you're willing to throw off your own sleep schedule just to hang out and watch me throw off my own sleep schedule. No, that's a bad idea. Alright, so like I said, we're just going to hang out here. If there's any other people who want to sign up for the Patreon, let me know real quick. And yeah, thank you again so much. For those of you tuning in on Instagram, what am I talking about? No one's tuning in on Instagram right now. People just like drop in for a second and then they leave. So Ashley, Morphic Crystal, who else is on YouTube right now? Let me know. Leave a comment and just be like, yes, I am here. I feel like I should just do a quick speed run of Super Metroid. That should only take like 4 hours. I could do that. I can do things. Okay, Morphic Crystal is still up. Life has meaning. Gotta find the boost. Gotta find the boost. Use the boost. Use the boost to get through. Trust your instincts, Fox. What? Who said that? Follow your heart. Yeah, I guess. See, it's interesting. The Skeksis impersonation, it's basically like Yoda, right? Like, it's like, And then Yoda is like, or how does Yoda work? It's like, dude or dude not. There is no car. Where's my car, dude? What? Alright, last life. Then I'm going to bed in a second. Thank you again, everyone, so much for staying up late. Whoop. Cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and boots and lots of boot. Sweet. Rise above and beyond. Thanks so much. Tuning in from Vancouver. My intentions are actually to make it back out to the West Coast. Once I have 300 people signed up to Patreon, which might take a little bit of time, but maybe not too much time. My plan is to like move out to the West Coast. That's my plan. I like how my sound effects for the spaceship are like race car sound effects. Is that what's going on? Did you guys know I actually made a documentary about race cars? Probably didn't know that. Yeah. Shemaine, thanks so much for watching as well. I feel super embarrassed knowing that people are watching me. Is this what Twitch is all about? Alright, last run of the game. Last run of the night. Gotta get them boosts. Gotta get them points. Gotta get to sleep. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, part of the reason why I'm also raising funds is like once I can raise funds, then I'll be able to like offset some things, and then I'll actually be able to finish the Journey to Lucidity movies. And I actually want to be able to get out to California again, possibly for Lucidity 2020. I don't know yet. I want to be able to get out there once I've like completed the other 3 Journey to Lucidity films. If you haven't seen those yet, go ahead and check that out. Who here has not seen the Journey to Lucidity movies? Go ahead and just leave a comment. They are on my YouTube channel. Life has meaning. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Are my video game skills impressing you guys? Let me know in the chats. Is anybody tuned in? I don't think anybody's tuned in on Twitch either. It's like, why is nobody watching me on Twitch? I'm playing video games and making a fool out of myself. Like, I thought that's all I had to do. And yet no one's tuned in on Twitch. Twitch is a very peculiar thing. It's a very interesting audience. Yeah, Morphic, definitely watch that. It'll probably make you cry. If you guys haven't watched that yet, I could probably even just like turn that on and go to sleep, and you guys can just watch it through live broadcasts. Abid asking, how has the world of lucid dreaming been for you? My dreams have not been like a super priority focus for me right now, in the sense that I'm not doing the best job of recording them, and I take responsibility for that. So like I haven't had like a lucid dream in quite some time. I like almost had one like last month, which was like during a nap, but other than that, I haven't recently. Part of that's again also depending on like my current like habit with working with cannabis and things like that. So, but yeah, we got dream class coming up in a few weeks, so that's always an incentive to be able to shift focus. Okie dokie. I'm gonna close things off here. Sweet. All right, switching things up. Cool. All right, thank you again, everyone, so much for joining in. And without having to say too much, I'm going to wrap up this broadcast. And as always, wishing everyone here a beautiful moment now. Words. I'm not tired. I'm not tired at all. Sweet. Thank you again, everyone. Abid. That's Abid. That's pretty cool that you're like getting into the habit of getting back into lucid dreams, though. Dude, that's awesome. I'd love to hear more about that. Like, keep me updated, dude. And again, man, it's good to hear from you. It's been like a couple years, so awesome. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, Dream Class is one of our broadcasts for leading members. So if you're interested in joining in for Dream Class, consider joining up at the $11 level on Patreon, which is the leading member level, which allows you to join our broadcasts. And yeah, Dream Class will be one of them, where we talk all about like dreams and lucid dreaming and everything. So if anybody has any other questions, please feel free to just send me a message if you are interested. And as always, thanking everyone again for an amazing broadcast. Had a lot of fun tonight. Got some awesome readings done. Got some new Patreon supporters. And yeah, definitely accomplished some objectives as a team. So with that said, we're going to wrap things up. And I shall see you in the future. Thank you again, everyone. Choop, 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 choop. Many blessings. All right. Have an awesome night, moment now, wherever you are, whenever you are. And until next time, keep it shifty, and I will see you guys in the future. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and go out there and kick some butt. Much love, peace, and wholeness. Thanks again. Good job, team. Good night. See you at the dream tree. Later, Abid. Thanks.